What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Snackers, and today is Sunday, November 21st, 2021, and this is episode number 166. Tonight on the show, we have the absolute one and only AnimeDatty. What's going on, buddy?
Do I start talking now?
You can start talking. I mean, I saw you singing before the...
I'm gonna be straight up. I've been listening to. Have you ever heard of Manchester Orchestra?
Yes. Yep.
Their most recent album I finally got into, and I cannot stop listening to it. So I have it on like super low in the background, but I'm just like jamming. But anyway, yeah, no, what's up? Hi.
You seem like the dude that doesn't listen to music. I don't know why, but you seem like that guy.
First of all, that's weird. Why? Why would you think that?
Because I've never heard you talk. One, you're not in touch with your emotions at all, and two, I've never heard you talk about music whatsoever.
It's crazy. Two things. One, I'm in touch with my emotions. Everybody's saying I'm not. Like, I'm fully like right now. I'm depressed as shit, and I know it. I know why I'm depressed. I'm completely aware of my emotions. It's just I don't express them how one might normally express them. So it's like, I don't know. There's that, and then also I was in a band. I played rhythm guitar. I sang.
That's right. I knew that. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm the type of person that keeps moving and moving and moving. So now music isn't a huge part of my life. So I'm like, I don't know. It took a backseat. There are moments where I go long stretches because I consume. Like right now, all I'm doing is listening to this album, and it's all I'm listening to. On occasion, I'll listen to something else if I'm hyped or like Harris Heller stuff when streaming. But outside of that, it's going to be this, and I'm going to hang on to it for a very long time, hopefully. But right now, this fits my mood perfectly because it's very. I don't know. Manchester is about as emo as I get. Like you had did you have an emo phase?
Oh my God. Dude, do you remember that
Yeah,
picture that I sent you?
Yeah,
you and John? Yeah.
I was just trying to confirm for everybody else, but like I wouldn't say I went full emo. Like I didn't like what is an emo phase exactly?
Okay.
You know?
If you're full emo, all right, you have skinny jeans to where you can literally see outlines of genitalia. Oh, okay, but the boots. The boots automatically remove you from emo land.
Okay, so there's that. Okay.
No. So yeah, skater shoes, skater boy shoes, extremely tight pants. You know when you go into PacSun or Hot Topic, they have those studded belts, like the metal studded belts.
Okay, I don't have that.
None of that. Okay, deep V-neck shirts or just like general band T-shirts that are super fucking bright or super dark. No.
I had a Kings of Leon band shirt, but mostly I wore Vin Diesel white tees. I know. What? I liked Kings of Leon.
We're talking about emo, and you just said Kings of Leon.
Okay, hear me out. Here, you said band shirt, and that's as far as band got. I think I had like
okay, all right.
That and no, I never really had band shirts. I had like maybe video game t-shirts, but no band. Kings, that's the only t-shirt I can remember having that was a band shirt. That's why I mentioned it. So no to that. So far all I have is the skinny jeans, and I still wear those. That's still a part of my style.
I'm a skinny jeans kind of dude too. Not lately because I've been super overweight. Skinny jeans are easier when you don't have a gut. Like it just makes everything easier.
Yeah, I guess that helps. Yeah.
Continuing to move upwards, any sort of makeup or any sort of color on your face, long straight hair that covers the eyes, none of that. Piercings, studs, earring.
Nope, none of that. And then the big thing was the music then. And like, what is cliche emo music for you?
Cliche emo music for me is like Hawthorne Heights, My Chemical Romance, Skylit Drive. That's more like hardcore emo.
I was about to say that's a bit.
All that emo, screamo, whiny type of rock that I grew up with. It's hard to. I don't know if anybody in here will know Breathe Carolina. That was like a whiny techno screamo band. That was so bad, and I loved it so much. Yeah, Armor for Sleep. Yeah, Dashboard Confessional. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got into any of that music. For the longest time, my parents, I won't say they didn't listen to music, but they weren't like music oriented. And then in high school, it was wild. I met one of my best friends from high school. Cody Bolt was a huge like Led Zeppelin classic rock kid. Like he was one of those kids that was growing up, just loved that stuff.
Yeah.
And I met him in strength training class, and we were two of the skinniest nerds in the entire world. All I cared about was anime and video games. I wore a Naruto jacket to school rather. and he was like the band kid. He was skinny and and just always had an instrument. And we met each other, and he got me into music, and that's where I learned about the classics. I got into the Beatles, like all the like classic rock stuff.
Okay.
While on
Some
the
other.
other side,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, while everybody else was getting into like that emo MCR phase where it's like the swooped hair, and
Yep.
I had a long curly Jufro, and I was just like fucking rock and roll, and I got into like punk rock and shit.
And that's what the first CDs that I ever bought were AC/DC and Foreigner. Like
Okay.
I got my start in classic rock as well.
Yeah.
Jimmy Eat World, Take 'Em Back Sunday, Fall Out Boy, Paramore. These are some other options. The Used, Get Up Kids, Brand
Yeah.
New. Oh my
Never
God,
got
saves
into
the day.
Paramore was the only one. I think it's only because I had a crush on Haley, like everybody else, and also I actually liked the music. So that's as close as I dipped my toe into that type of music. So this Manchester Orchestra is about as which is he's in. I don't know. If you listen to Manchester, it's very, I don't know. It's heavy at times, but
Mhm.
it's an interesting sound that I really appreciate. At first, I didn't like them, but now they have some tunes that just fucking kick,
They
dude.
just get you.
And now in my life, I really like vibe with it, for lack of a better term, even though that's super overused. This album and the one previous have just been very pivotal albums in my life somehow. So here I
I
am.
I can't find a word to thesaurus vibe. I use the word vibe all the
Yeah.
time. Like when somebody asks me, "Hey, did you like have you ever seen this person or watched this person stream?" And I just say, "No, not my vibe." Like that's my kind way of saying we wouldn't get along because we're two different people.
It doesn't match my energy, I
Yeah.
guess, is another more
Yep.
but it's same thing. But
Well,
talking on that, sorry, I'm gonna be completely interrupting this whole time.
that's all right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, talk about matching vibes. I think you saw my drunk clip from cosplay the other day.
No, it's like I was, I love some people.
It's like, man, I watched that. I was like, man, I was out of it. And we were talking about like people when we first met them and TikTokers and stuff. And I always mention how when I first saw you on TikTok, you irked me the wrong way for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And now I can't get enough of you.
Likewise, both you and John are both dudes. I was like,
Yep.
God, who do these dudes remind me of? Oh, myself.
There are parts of me. I just like, yeah, no, it's wild how the tides have turned, and now we've let each other into each other's lives. More so you, because you let me literally crash at your house. But
That seems like months ago, even though it was only like a month ago, right?
it does. I don't know. It's cathartic. I was trying to relate, like, I was talking about streaming and Twitch and how a buddy of mine came into my Twitch stream who I hadn't seen in a while. He was a streamer at one point, but now he's kind of just a viewer. Strange place. It was like, hey man, how you doing? It feels, it's been a while. How you been? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's good. And he talks about like getting away from Twitch. And he's just like, just go outside, dude. And I was like, I did that. In fact, I did that for 7 weeks. But even during that, I couldn't get away from Twitch. And I was thinking, like, all my life I've been trying, we watch TV and we watch movies to escape.
Mhm.
And I've been doing that my whole life. I've always been a dreamer. My mind has been everywhere else except on the task I should be doing. And for me, that was like TV, video games, movies. And then when I found Twitch, it was even more, I was a part of the movie. Like, we can be a part of the entertainment, the things that distract us. And now, even if I'm not streaming, there's still some sort of base of reality while watching someone. I guess you can bleed it into parasocial relationships, but like, I think that's why I don't watch TV or play video games as much, or story games, because I'm so tired of dreaming. Like, I did the bike trip, and it's something I've dreamt about. I had to take a step back and be like, holy shit, in school I would dream about getting on my bike and just going. And now it's like I said, I'm in like my feelings this past couple months, so it's gonna be like a weird podcast.
No, good.
But
I'd love to hear that.
it's a weird mindset because I've been so obsessed with not the now, if you will, like reality, and I don't know what my next dream is, and that sounds kind of bad. So I'm living, hey, live your dreams, except for when you live your dreams, what do you have left? Do you just keep dreaming, or do you just like, I don't know, man, I'm confused and sad. I'm just trying to figure it out, and also get back to reality where I like work a job, and it's wild.
So when it comes to living out your dream, right? And when I talk to people that have the dream, like I want to play video games on Twitch, like that is their goal.
Yeah.
And what I always try to reiterate to a lot of people is you're going to do this for a long time. And what you're going to realize is that there is another aspect of content creation or streaming that you're going to fall in love with, that you might fall in love with more than playing video games on stream. And which is like, if you were to talk to me 5 years ago and ask me like, what aspirations do you have in regards to content creation? They would be nothing like what I'm doing right now, right? Not focusing on just chatting, not focusing on tech, not focusing on podcasting, right? It's just video games. Like I want to play video games on stream. And unfortunately, it took me 6 years of failing at that to make me realize like that's actually not what you want to do, because all of my other actions outside of being live were not reflective of what my actual aspirations are. I think you fall in love with the idea of something, and then some people figure it out immediately, like 6 months in. Regarding your friend that said like he quit streaming, and I've seen this a lot where people quit streaming and they go outside and they're like, oh my God, like I was spending so much time inside and there's like this whole world out there. And in my eyes, I'm like, I've never gotten that deep to where I just absolutely shut out everything, just completely shutting down all parts of life to just focus on this one thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm focused, but I'm still like, I'm living the life that I want to live inside this little bubble over here. I know that there is life out there. I can travel, I can see friends, but you really just got to focus what makes you happy. So it makes me wonder whenever I hear somebody say like, oh, like I stopped streaming and my life got 20 times better. It's like, sounds like you have some problems that you needed to sort out. I don't necessarily think it's the issue of being a streamer. I think that you probably made some mistakes.
I think it's a balance thing. I think, do you think you have a good work? It's not just one or two things, it's multiple. And like,
I work way too much.
You work way too much, you think?
Yep. Oh,
and is that because you have to, or because you end up just doing it?
Both. My day job, like when we were working from home, I would willingly sit at my desk from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. just continuously working, because something would come up, gotta finish it. Something would come up, gotta finish it. Gotta set myself up better for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I gotta plan this thing. I have yet to be officially diagnosed, but my girlfriend just got officially diagnosed with ADHD, and all of the things that she tells me, she's like, you for sure have fucking ADHD, because you do all the same things that I do, but you just hyper focus in different areas.
I've been double diagnosed ADD, and I don't know. Part of me is in the group of, oh, it could be a superpower, but now more than ever as I get older, feels more like a curse. Like growing up, I felt like I had a huge handle of it, and now it just feels like it consumes me. Like I dial in. When I do something, I dial in, but then it's only for, it's just that one time. And then after I'm done with a full like if I start researching cameras, it's all I do until I'm done. Like if I can finally like manage to find that one thing, like right now it's photography for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I have a whole story on that. Someone stole a $1,000 camera I just bought with the last of my spending money. So that's cool. I'm only angry about it. I only want to literally punch my screen every time I think about
it.
When
did that happen?
Thursday. I ordered a ZV-E10, a Sony.
Yep.
They're like one of the newer. They basically have the same insides of the A6600, but it's 100 times cheaper.
Yep.
So I was like, oh fuck, I'll jump on that. Anyway, I ordered just the body off eBay from like a reseller, and it got sent to my wrong address. Now, granted, that's part my fault. The other end of it was it needed a signature, but the other end of it is it went to my apartment. So there's multiple things of like, someone, the driver signed for it. I finally got FedEx to admit that the driver signed for it. And I was like, hey, if you're gonna have a signature, maybe don't, because if someone can just sign for it and leave it anywhere, that's not where especially an apartment complex. Now, it's one thing if it was left at a neighbor's house. Assumingly I can go to the neighbor's house and be like, give me my package back. But it's because it was at an apartment complex, it was left somewhere, uh one of the people that works at the office gave it to the person living in my apartment, and now either the person in the apartment is lying about having it, which I knocked on the dude's door. He opened it up. I was like, do you have my package? He said, oh no, I brought it down to the office. And like, I didn't put up a fight because I'm not going to be that guy. I probably shouldn't even came up to his door, but I'm like, I'm not gonna. I want my fucking camera.
Right.
And then I went back down to the office. We searched the office. The girl was like, I was the only one here. I didn't sign for it. Obviously she didn't, the FedEx driver did, but it like eventually it led to being nowhere, which doesn't make any sense. So now eBay sending back the same exact message each and every time. Check with the neighbor. It says delivered. It's not our problem. So now I have to escalate it with eBay, and I'm just bitching on your pod. Like this is what I did on my podcast. Anyway, all leading. I lost it. I still can't find it. I'm waiting on eBay, but I got into photography, and like going back on ADD, which is exactly what's happening right now. I have a tangent, is that it leads and leads and leads. And as soon as I'm done, I just sit here and stew until I find another thing and where I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like I have to keep going with it. And somehow streaming for the most part. And I don't know if it's because I had multiple things like a job, a rent, dogs to take care of. I was in a relationship. I had so many things like kind of like steering me on a right path that I kept with streaming for so long. But now I'm just like in this mental like limbo where like I can't choose one thing, or like my mind won't do it. So I don't know, maybe I should be medicated, but also I don't like medicine. So fuck me.
So I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm probably going to get diagnosed, but when it comes to medication, it's like, do I actually want to medicate this away, or do I just want to try and find different ways? And what I've discovered through my girlfriend navigating through this is that there are routines that you can put in place for yourself that can help you navigate it as an adult, right? Because as a kid, it's not as big of a deal because your only obligation is homework. School is all you have to do. But now that you're an adult and you're managing finances and a job and ex relationships and lost cameras, it can kind of fuck you in the ass, and it's not fun.
Well, that's the thing. It's like now that I don't have anything to do, I want to do nothing. Like I don't have a job. I mean, my job is kind of making content and finding a job. I don't really have any. I mean, I have bills because I racked up debt again, but it is what it is. And still had previous debt, but like the dog's mostly taken care of. My mother is like basically adopted my dog. I'm like, you know, whatever. Like I'm so fucking bummed out. I don't even walk the dog. He still likes me more. He still likes me more. But yeah, I just like I said, I sit here and my mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Being talked to by you." And it's I like yeah, I'll get on to the next thing. It's not like these moments haven't happened in the past, but I think this is as reset as I've been in a very long time. And it's kind of I don't know. I always talk. Are you afraid to get old?
No.
Like old.
Oh, definitely. Like super. Here's my fear age is the one that stops me from being able to do the things that I love. Like when I saw those videos of Tony Hawk doing his last 900, I fucking cried because I'm sort of kind of in a good spot to where as long as I can breathe and my eyes work, I can use a computer. I can do some sort of technology. There's going to be a point where he's not going to be able to skateboard. That fucking sucks.
That, yes. I guess that's the beauty of depending on what the thing that makes you passionate.
Yeah.
Like computers, we can assumingly sit here until our mind finally like cracks.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I always hang out, or most people, generally speaking, are afraid to get old. But there's just something in my brain where it's like, I can't wait to be 65, maybe even 70, and still be like ripped. Cause I don't know, you see that some people are like in good shape or mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Like I just want part of me like that annoying song. I've mentioned this before. Can we skip to the good part? Assumingly when I'm like 65, I'll have it figured out. But my dad's 65 and he ain't got shit figured out. So it's like, I don't know. I've been asking everybody that recently.
So what about 65? Because all the reasons you just gave me feel quite superficial. Like what is the actual reason? Do you just want to skip all that time?
I don't know. I'm not the type of person that's interested to see like, do you wish you knew how you died? It's not necessarily about, I don't know. 65 seems like another, I'm going to be 30 in January. So that's another 30 years. And I just think of all the shit that I did while I was 30.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's pretty. And I was like, okay, I have another 30 years to either fuck up or fuck it up, you know?
So, okay, but you got to look at it this way too. The 30 years that you've lived, 10 of them have been with a sane brain. So yeah, You've lived 30 years, but literally 10 of them you've had control over your life. These next 30, you're going to have complete control as you've had the last 10.
Uh, control. What is control?
Like, you can
Are we ever really
shit
in
when
control?
you want. You don't have to go to school if you don't want to. If you want to stop
Yes.
eating, you can do that too. Your
Yeah.
first 20 years were useless. High school, fucking useless.
I can't say I was very much controlled when I was a kid. I was an asshole then as I am now. If I had my mother come down here, she'd be like, he didn't listen to anything I told him to do. Like I did whatever I wanted growing up.
Right, but like there's still restrictions, right? Like you can't drive after midnight when you're 16. You can't buy alcohol before. Well, you can, but some cops
what
gonna
you're saying.
fuck you with a baton.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. When I was told I can't do something, hey, guess what I'm gonna do? That thing, I'm gonna get away with it.
It makes me sad that you are wishing for 65 because I think that your 30s are the greatest. I just had a fucking TikTok about this. 30s is the fucking greatest.
I'm not wishing for 65. I'm just not afraid to get there. I guess I worded that wrong. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm like, I can't wait to get old in the sense that like I'm not worried about being old. Because so many people are just like, when I was out to dinner with a couple friends this weekend, one dude, I forget his name, was just like, I just thought, oh my God, time keeps moving. I'm already 27. I was just like, so? You're here. We're eating Korean barbecue. We're living our fucking life. What are you afraid of? You get to have another, I don't know.
My initial thought with that is they think that the best times are from the 20s to 30s. Like their perception is that those early years are the best times when that's just not, that's the furthest thing from the truth, in my opinion.
Is that just like a society? Like people are so used to adults, whatever the age may be, complaining about shit or like getting older. Like I never really.
I think it has something to do with our parents projecting what their adult life was. Like, imagine if our parents didn't have kids until everybody was 50, right?
Yeah.
None of them went to college and they all just lived happily. We wouldn't be so scared of 30 because when we grew up, our moms were 20 popping out fucking triplets like it was nothing. And so we saw like, oh my God, they're raising families by the time they're 22.
Yeah. Also with life expectancy and stuff going up, like, I don't know. I'll have like robot legs and shit. I'll be 120. 70, you'll be like, oh, you're in your prime at 70 because you have robot heart just still going. Or I'll finally be able to jack my brain into an actual computer like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about shit. Are you maybe not afraid, but yeah, that's assumingly the next part is is it assimilation?
Simulation.
Well, no, assimilating into like the internet. Is that the right word? Is like
Inseminating.
Insemination. No. Yeah, it's like when you're like, I don't know, downloading your brain into a computer and then that's the next step. Like you think about, I don't know, the alien theory, like they don't use their muscles anymore and that's why they have big heads and no genitalia, because it's just like they basically
fuck with their heads.
Yeah, they fuck with their heads and now they can just like yeah. Oh, they fuck with like they fucked I thought you said they fucked with their heads, but they legitimately fuck with.
Yeah, they fuck with their heads.
No. No, like they don't need to use their bodies anymore. They've ascended to being just all telepathic and like wireless and stuff. So like the next step is us with like the metaverse with Facebook is putting ourselves so outside of reality that everything is a reality.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want that or if I do want that.
I would probably not be downloading myself into a computer. I don't think I would.
It seems scary, but like as long as they wipe this part,
Yeah, just wipe my ability to comprehend existence. I'll be a computer happily. I just happened to look up at chat and I saw cosplay and I'm just thinking about his body and something that he said in chat. I'll tell you what I'm afraid of: getting slower, getting weaker, getting more tired, less energy.
That's me right now.
When I hit 29, I really started to be cognizant of how my eating was affecting my energy. Because I used to, like, I used to just go, 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 go all of the fucking time. In my early years of streaming, I would do something called March Madness, where I would stream for 4 to 6 hours every single day of March. I could do that no problem. And I know you did streaming 24/7 for a while. So you're insane. But, anyways, I started realizing that the choices that I was making in life were directly impacting my energy. And me 50%, like when I'm 50% knackers, when my energy is really low and I'm tired and lethargic, I that depresses the shit out of me. And one of the reasons why I like completely changed my diet a couple months ago was like I cannot go another year of not having energy. Like whenever I talk to any other people who I know are like not the most healthy, but they're just they're just succumbing to adult life. Like, yeah, like come home from my day job and I'm just too tired to do anything. I come home from work, I eat dinner, and then I fall asleep. And I do that like 6 nights a week. And when I hear that, that scares me more than getting old. Of like, oh, I've already hit the age where I'm just going to be tired for the rest of my life. And my answer to that is fuck no, I refuse. And that's a big reason why I quit caffeine.
Yeah, that's what I was doing before I got into streaming. Like, you do the stuff, you go out every Friday, like me and my ex, we lived the life. We had a home, we had but it got to the point where it was just go to work, kind of get through it, come home, watch a movie, eat dinner, maybe not eat dinner, sleep all day. It was just a depressive state. And then like, yeah, I found something that like re-sparked my energy, and that's I think that's the main fear with getting old is the repetitiveness, which like some people thrive in, by the way. If it's
Yeah.
a good routine, and I think that's the issue is a good routine. Like if I'm moving or if I'm out, like right now, before this, I was like, all right, I kind of like I don't want to be, I'm not gonna go into it like amping myself up because I want to be me being me, I want to be genuine. Even if I'm like low, assumingly, hopefully I can get into a vibe, and which fuck I'm doing now. I'm back up. Literally right before this, I was in my car like screaming. I was like, I don't feel that, like just bullshit. And I'm like, I'm good, I'm up. And that's like I have to find the things like the bike trip or shit. Even going out, I went to a show last night, and then I wasn't ready to like come down from that high and just even though I was alone, like, yeah, I need to find a routine though, because right now it's just kind of like finding those. That's my drugs. I don't do drugs. It's just like getting outside of being comfortable. Like, as soon as I sit down here, it's either I stream or I have to find something like researching cameras. Otherwise, I'll just sit here on my phone on TikTok and
TikTok.
scroll and scroll. And then I'm back to that moment where I'm in with, not to like relate it with my ex, but I'm back at the house in the apartment with my ex, and we're sitting there and we're just going day by day by day. And it's like, it's hard to find that balance or those things and like not be overwhelmed by one and let one fall back to balance. Let one ruin the other thing. Ugh. Ugh.
Do
Yuck.
you I've noticed that you haven't been putting out as many TikToks lately. And your streaming has been a lot of gaming, which is the complete opposite of AnimeDatty 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you are streaming just to stream right now to fill that void, or is gaming what you want to pursue as of now?
As a little bit of both. I think I need to get away from multiplayer gaming. Because it just turns me into the biggest part of why I got into streaming was the interaction.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I think there's still good content within gaming, but I don't know if if I'm gonna do gaming, I have to get into single player games. But it turned into I want to play games with my friends. I think that would be fun for other people to watch, but that's not my audience, or it's not my audience now. So I need to rebuild. I have 4 other accounts now. I have Gamer Daddy, I have Travel Daddy for when I travel. Assuming I still have tons of footage I can still go through and make into Travel Daddy stuff. And then I have Anime Daddy, which assumingly, like Nikki mentioned, Camilla Panda, it should be anime stuff, but it's not.
Yeah.
I should rebrand that. I want it to just be Daddy. I want that to be like my brand is just Datty, like, and then I can offset, like have Anime Daddy, maybe bring this back into that, but here or there. But
You're early enough to where you could do that really, really easily.
in theory, I just the term daddy is taken on most things, so I have to roll with Anime Daddy. Either way, I would love to get back into podcasting. I want to get through all the chats. I don't have to. I can not throw away what I did, but I can kind of just have it and then start fresh. But for me, knowing that I have that backlog of all those chats I had, and they're so great stuff. Like I had Libby's, Askesian, all of her conversation. It's like there's these great moments, and maybe they're not super relevant. I feel like there is a resurgence because I've been pushed back onto Twitch Talk again, and holy fuck me, is it still a mess? Huh.
You know what's crazy is I am no longer in the streamer tip saga of Twitch Talk. I don't see, I mean, I still see a lot of technical guides, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about, because, you know, like I did that for a little while where it was just 100% tech stuff. And I still
Yeah.
want to do that, but the tech guides leave no room for a display of your personality. And that's the same thing I feel about Twitch tips as well, is it's all just regurgitated information. And like regurgitated information is fine, but the Twitch tip regurgitation is like so rampant. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's
you
so,
see me, I grab mine constantly. Come here, baby. I'm not going through my stream. I can't.
And
do
so
noises.
it's just the same stuff over and over. And I don't know if it's still getting the views that it did, or if I've just removed myself that I'm not seeing them as more.
I don't think it's getting views like it used to. Having new accounts, I see the videos that actually get pushed, and it's nothing to do with advice. Usually it's just weird, random, wacky shit that random regular people post and then get into. But I forget my train of thought. I forget my train. Streaming TikTok, getting back into the conversations. Yeah, I still post, but the personality thing, that's what I wanted to, is within those, my main AnimeDatty account that I was posting to TikTok originally, where I met everyone, which is that doubling back and then kind of pushing forward. The big part of how I got my start and what's just amazing to hear, and I feel like I've lost touch, is that so many people have met each other through me, which is like, wasn't my intention originally. It was just very selfish. Like I wanted to have conversations with people. It was great content. Getting to know people is fucking amazing. But at the end of the day, the idea that those people would be introduced, that's what it blossomed into. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm that guy. I get to make connections for other people. I'm like, hey, do you know this guy? Yeah, I met him through you. I met him through you. That's fucking beautiful. I don't know how to get back there because I feel like I've pulled back so much because it's overwhelming. Staying in this space is super overwhelming, especially with like trauma and bullshit sometimes. And then I posted a tweet the other day that talked about analytics because that's a big part of it. And then I looked at the tweet and just some of the tweets underneath it, and I was like, you know, I don't actually, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, just stream. It was like everybody through Hover is just like, oh, my numbers went up since I started using Hover, and they showed their CCV thing. And it's like, that doesn't prove that it was Hover.
Right.
Show me. I don't know. I don't know what click over. And I know that Twitch has a section where it shows where people clicked over from. Like mine shows Discord, Twitter. I don't know specifically how that works. But that's the type of stat I want to see, not just you saying I'm starting to use this. Assumingly, if you post a video and it gets 60,000 views and that night you get those views, yeah, those views came from Hover. But does that mean your long-term over the month views were from Hover? Or have you been posting other places? I don't know. That shit, like right now I'm thinking about it. But like if I take a step back and I go, I don't give, like, who, just stream, shut up. Just shut up and make me laugh. Dance.
Dance, monkey.
Like literally, when I come across TikToks now, and I'll end all this, I always say, whenever I see a stream tip that's super generic, I go, can I see more gaming clips of you?
I've seen that.
I don't know if you've seen me. I literally, every time, if you see a post from GamerDaddy, that it's going to be that.
Gotcha. Okay. What drives you to post those?
Post what?
When you're like, hey, I want to see more gaming. I want to see more gaming content from you.
Bully. I want to be an asshole. I want to.
Why?
Dude, I don't know. There's like, if I hate myself. Duh. What do you?
I know you don't like it. Okay, so honest question: when you have those moments of like, holy shit, I don't fucking care. Do you ever come back from that and go, wait, no, I do care. That's why I posted it in the first place.
Yeah, it's that mixed feeling. I can't control. I don't know, my thoughts or I don't know. Yeah, it's like clearly I care about the information that people are giving because there's still that original AnimeDatty inside of me where I'm like, I want to make sure that the information given is real. I don't want to be lied to, and I don't want my friends and other streamers to be lied to. Like fucking Minty, because I'm on accounts that he's not blocked on. I don't know if you know Minty.
I do.
His pinned video that has the most views is about how if you ban people in chat, or yeah, they unfollow you, which within that day was not true. But that's
Right.
his highest viewed video, and it's still up there for people to get the wrong information. And I just want to message the guy and be like, you need to delete that video because it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch came out and said it's not true that people will be unfollowed. Like we fixed that or whatever it was.
Yep.
But it's his biggest video, and there's information being spread. And obviously, as a fucking caveman human on Facebook and shit, you're just like, fake news. Fake news. Like I'm out here like, oh cool, you got the stuff and I care about it. But then at the end of the day, the like bully, like Dr. Evil asshole in me, the piss boy Philly in me, just like, who gives a fuck? I'm just gonna make fun of him. That's how I lash out.
You were in the audience at that Bill Burr show way back when he went ape shit on the audience, weren't you?
I wasn't there, but I love that. Fuck you. Philly people are the worst.
8 fucking minutes. You're gonna sit here and listen to this. Were you always? Well, I'm here to tell you that there is life beyond being an asshole, and I know you know this because I don't think that you're an asshole, but there is an asshole parasite in you right now that you like feeding, and sometimes it gets the better of you.
That's what I have to think about McQueeb. What would McQueeb do?
I've been watching. There's been some times where I'll get up for work at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I come into my office and he's still on the fucking monitor playing Isaac, and he snaps, but he's so calm and collected that it doesn't seem like he's snapping. It's just like he's just playing Jenga, and he's just constantly flicking out the lowest blocks just to constantly bring you down. So graceful, so elegant. McQueeb's amazing. But did you start off Twitch and TikTok like that, or did it build as you went?
I don't know. Like I said, I just obsessed over it. So when I first got on the Twitch, I can't remember why I started streaming, and I still to this day, all I know is that I randomly went live. I bought a PC because I was making fucking fantastic money, and like all my friends were. None of my friends really. We played games for a little bit, and then everybody kind of stopped playing randomly. And I was like, oh, I got all this shit. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with it? So I somehow ended up on a Harris Heller video. And that's when I found about streaming. And I was like, oh yeah, streaming. Like, I guess I could technically try it out. I don't really have a camera or anything. So it was just random. I did it way back on my Xbox when you could still get Mixer on the Xbox.
Yep.
So I tried that because I thought it'd be interesting. More so in a recording sense. It was more so as like I thought I could use Mixer or streaming as a library of when I played games and just remember that I played them, sort of thing.
That's what I was doing as well.
Like I was like, oh, I'll just remember that I went live and I played and I did this, and I can look back and be like, oh, I remember that moment when I played. So it was like a record keeping, which I guess technically now is the beauty of if I stop, I can go back to my VODs, my clips, and just scroll through my Instagram and fucking cry and think about all the people I got to meet. But like, yeah, I don't know. At one point, I got pulled into a couple of follow for follow, support for support groups. So I was just vulnerable and I wanted to meet people, I guess. And then I was in that and I kind of realized what it was. But then I was like, maybe I can take advantage of this by actually networking. It was more so networking than it was like building or like, I don't know, whatever. I was like, oh, I'll podcast and actually get to know these people and see what they're actually about.
Yep.
So it was a networking move. And then it turned out I actually got to know really cool people within those chats, because I was like, all right, what I'll do is I'll talk to the mods and stuff, and I'll have them on the show, and I'll get my name in front of people. And then I got outside of that immediately, like as soon as I was like, oh, this is all kind of, there's a lot of shallowness in here. I'm gonna maybe take a step back and find like creators who I have a passion for, like I like to watch now that I'm fully involved in Twitch. And then it kind of evolved from just networking to getting to know people to turning into a whole show to being like, oh, this could be an actual stuff. And then I built deep relationships with creators because this is where I spent most of my time. Maybe got a little parasocial at one point. And then finally I was at like a heyday. I had open signups because I wanted to talk to not everybody, but I wanted to get to know more people that weren't anything like me. And you can find that on Twitch.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a little tough depending on like the circles you hang out with, but it just kind of evolved. And I think at the point where it turned into like I started getting kind of toxic is when I got to TikTok. and I kind of thought I knew what streaming was. Like I had talked to maybe 30 to 40 people. It's like, I kind of get this. I think I can understand how streaming works to a certain extent. I still don't understand it, and I don't think you ever will, depending on how people pop off, how people get exposure, if they have a got it factor, what they're doing to keep an audience, all that jazz. But when I got to TikTok, a lot of what I saw was just stream tips. And it
Yep.
was like, I already knew, so I didn't need to see. And then I started seeing stuff that were behaviors like the support for support and the follow for follow expectations. There was
Yeah.
a lot of expectations with stream tippers, at least when we were around. I'm sure it's still kind of there, but I think it's kind of phased out. You can find a few people, but I don't attack them anymore. But yeah, what happened was I got passionate because Cat Liente was the first one I saw where it's like, you got to give love to get love. And I was like, fuck no. Like that hit me whatever wrong way. And
So what do you think about it now?
Looking back, she just said it wrong. But now I hopefully have the mental capacity to like take a step back, look through their content and be like, they just worded it wrong. I don't know. And then maybe there was a couple creators, most of that first video I made where I shot at Cat Liente, there were a couple creators who said, hey, just letting you know that I don't think she meant it this way. Like they took time to comment, but not attack. And I appreciate I would love to be that person, but I also like having mean fun. Like a lot of my favorite comedians kind of like bully each other. Like I love comedy too. Like before streaming, it was comedy. I was doing stand-up comedy for about a year. So like it was all like certain aspects of comedy is just like bullying and picking on people, but like in a fun way. You know, everyone's limits are different. Like you can make fun of me as much as you want. Hopefully I can take it. Like I make fun of myself. I know what my quirks are, but
Hopefully.
anyway, hopefully. But like I can never get to the point where I'm just like, hey, maybe you should look at it this way. And that's when I kind of took a step back. But then I don't know, like I said, it was just a wave and I just got into streaming and it consumed me. And I got angry at people that were trying to take advantage or maybe use certain tactics to get exposure. And now more than ever, because it just between life circumstance and everything that happened IRL, like it just that beat me up and trying to get back into that wave of, I don't know. I also don't want to, like I posted that tweet about analytics and then I deleted it at first. I actually posted it and then I looked at it and I was just like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not right about this. And it doesn't matter about people showing where their analytics are actually coming from.
Right.
So I deleted it. And then I forget what the mindset was because I reposted it because I thought, no, I'm going to reword it. And at the end of it, I said, if I'm wrong, correct me. Like if this isn't something worth knowing and like who gives a fuck, then obviously don't answer. But I got a couple people who interacted. It didn't like blow up or anything, but I definitely deleted it because I was like, at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna help anyone by posting this. I don't think it's gonna really, I don't know. Now more than ever, I'm very trepidatious about what I post. And more often than not, I'm going to post something a little more annoying, like on I'm just gonna fool around. Now more than ever, I kind of just want to fuck around. That's why I'm playing games on stream. I haven't gotten back to the podcast yet because I'm afraid maybe if I go full send on streaming, it's gonna, I don't know, poison what I like about streaming now, which is just hanging out with my friends.
It could.
Playing games, just streaming in general. Like I don't know. There's still the back end of it like this where I get to talk about like Valula, who is a no cam streamer. Great partner numbers, like she's a fantastic no cam. Like if you want an example of a streamer who you should like study, not copy by any means, but like take an example of, it's Valula, who you can get away with no cam. She has a great personality, great voice, great community. But it's a situation where she plays one game. And when she doesn't play that game, she doesn't get a viewership.
Yeah.
And it's those small like facets of creating and streaming in particular that still fascinate me. It's like, what are those things? So that's stuff I kind of like keep to these conversations where I can, but tweeting about it and making full one-on-one TikToks now more than ever, I just want to post funny clips. I just want to laugh while streaming.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing to go after because when I first got to TikTok and I was doing the super technical stuff, I got a little aggressive in the beginning too. But even though I thought I was being aggressive funny, and more funny than aggressive, it can still come off as aggressive. And so I dial that back, but I still, like, you can be aggressive without being insulting. And if you sprinkle a little comedy on there too, it's a little bit more received in the same way where you can be mean funny. But I grew up with mean funny. And what I've realized after a long time is it's just mean and we laugh to make it okay. And that is fucking exhausting to me. And I don't, again, not my vibe. I don't vibe with people that, like, if I tune into a stream and it's a group of streamers and they're all just shitting on each other and yelling and insulting each
Oh,
other.
you mean like all of John C. Stout's streams?
Anytime I can't play when you guys, I can't watch when you guys play together.
Oh yeah. That's why I need to take a step back from John. I don't know what it is. I guess it's growing up. That's the camaraderie I was used to. I didn't have brothers, but all of my friends, that's how we've gotten less like that as we've grown up. There's like, some light ribbing as you were, but John is the prime example of like, okay, you're trash, sort of. Like that's the base of like mean, funny.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. I am completely aware of that. That guy has a hook on me, and I don't know why. John, if you're watching, leave me alone sometimes.
It's called heroin. It's
He's
a
my
literal
drug.
needle. But no, I totally get that. And, I still have, like with my close friends, we throw little jabs at each other, but that's not the core of how we treat each other. And I can't. Anytime I hear somebody that says, oh no, I like being in friendships where we can just be mean to each other. And then I'm like, okay, let's talk to you again in 5 years and see if you still feel the same, because it's fucking exhausting. All the time. It's just constantly being torn down. Like in the same reasons or the same way how like a streamer will constantly be looking at a chat. And even if there's a sea of compliments, there's that one insult, and it can be that one insult every other week. That is what you focus on. It's the same thing with your friends. Like, yeah, you can say you're just being mean to be funny and it's all mean love, but I guarantee it's doing more damage than good. But that's how I prefer my friendships and relationships. That's my opinion. That's not how the world should go around. But when I look around and I see like good, healthy group of friends and then negative, toxic group of friends, which one do I want to be a member of?
Healthy, not two jerks fake bullying each other on Twitter like John and I do,
You need to have a friend that calls you a fucking moron when you do something so unbelievably stupid.
Yeah.
Have to have it.
That's me to John. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Assumingly when I'm not being an asshole, he's doing something a little bit worse.
Nice.
But, my favorite streamers though, now more than ever, are those that mostly they still do some collabs like Sandwich, Lou, even creators who just do their own thing. I mean, the podcast, like doing this is always tricky because you have to you have to put everything together. All of your stuff was professional. You sent me like a Google Doc. Normally when I did my show, it was like, hey, you want to come hang out Saturday? I'm like, yeah, are you free? Cool. All right, I'll just shoot you a Discord call. And it was like, bang.
That's how mine started. That's how it was early on.
Like, that's me. But like creators who, for the most part, have built their audience off of just them, their personality, their own clips, rather than relying on not necessarily I don't know. There are other like Ginger Girl. She does collabs every once in a while, and I feel like her viewership gets lower. And that might just be me. This is just an analysis. This is what I think I see, and it feels like they're there for you because they're used to her playing alone, and that's when her viewership is larger. And those are my favorite viewers now. Are those who just like Ludwig. Ludwig does his occasional one-offs where he plays with offline TV, but he has his core content, which is him fooling around with chat or doing like an event or playing a game.
Yep.
Like they built it through that, and they can rely on, God forbid nobody's around, they still have them. And those have been recently, as I took a step back from streaming, my favorite creators are those. Even McQueep, great, does his fucking thing, man. He has his thing that he does, and I appreciate that.
So I don't know if you've ever seen my friend Middle Age stream. He is a solo streamer. His shtick does not work when he's streaming with other people. He's one of those people, and I enjoy it. I can say confidently, there are people that I won't watch when they're playing with other people because it is not the same show. The attention is divided. People will mask who they're playing with, so their personalities will slightly change, energies change, and to me, again, it's all about vibe for me, man. It's all about vibe and value. And when those things are not what they should be, I guess, not what they should be, but what they're usually, I find myself. Thank you. I find myself navigating away from those because and that's kind of what you have to think about, right? When you're starting out streaming, a lot of people say like, hey, just play the game you love, play with your friends, get groups, and then once you, and this, I'm sure this happens to a lot of people, once you start building a community, and then you start pulling away from your friends. Your friends are like, oh man, like you started growing and then like you just forgot all of us. You left us all at the ground floor. It's like, no, I realize that this is a one-man show and I need to focus on the community, on the content, and it can't just be me playing games anymore. And that's a hard realization for your friends and your significant others to grasp at first, but it is what has to happen.
That's a trick with what I was doing before, though, because it relied on working with other people.
Yes.
The beauty of the streamathon was, and part of why I started the streamathon completely on a whim. I was like, I'm going to go live and do like when people 24-hour a game to get to a certain rank. Like I forget what streamer was doing that. He's done a bunch now. Like you have a goal in mind, you're going to get it, and you're not going to stop streaming till you get. For me, it was editing my videos.
Right.
Guess what never got done that whole 600 hours.
I've never watched more of a streamathon than I watched the viewers. I don't know why, but when I was working from home, I would start up and I would just put your stream up while I was working.
I don't know. It's lightning in a bottle, but yeah, I started, and that was where I finally got to know my audience that would showed up during all those podcasts where I really didn't get to talk to Chad or the people that had been supporting me for so long. I finally got to know them. And it was that beautiful moment where that actually got to happen. And now it feels like too much time has maybe passed, but I'm trying to recreate that, I guess, by just streaming games and like hanging out with chat. And I'm afraid to, I guess it's all nostalgia in a way. Like everyone's like, oh, we loved getting to know other people. So, I have to get back to collabing with people and working with other creators, or at the very least close creators who I can just have a chat with like this. Or I can play games by myself and rebuild that. But like, is it only going to work if I stream long hours because I'm just around for people? It's finding that thing now that I'm lost in the sauce because I was doing one thing for so long and then I like binged the other one thing for so long.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't know. And then I fucking disappeared. I went on the motorcycle. That was 7 weeks. So now I have to find, I'm just a binger. Like I said, I don't do drugs or anything, but I need to find my next binge.
Yeah, you got binge sauce going on real hard. When it comes to the podcasting, you are correct where we started out the same, where I really did want to talk to people. Like I really had the desire to sit down and chat, because when it started, it was me and my 4 friends. It was a 5-person podcast. And we did that every other Sunday for like 2 years. And it was really focused on just video games. It was just us talking about video games. The podcast that I did before that kind of evolved into my podcast was strictly for our PC gaming community. And we did that every single week.
Okay.
And then it started to get to the point where like, well, maybe I could start bringing on, because one by one, the guests kind of started falling off, and just, doing their own thing, getting into their own content, their own video games. And I said, well, what if I just started bringing on people? Like, hey, it would give me a chance to talk. It would obviously get me a chance to get my face in front of other communities, more viewers, right? But then what you realize is that 9 times out of 10, the people that come into the podcast for the guests that you brought on do not come back. In the same way that people from raids very, very rarely come back. There is a unspoken formula where raids work as far as transferring viewerships. There has to be a lot of stars that are aligned for that to be like a really successful raid, or you need to be prepared out of your fucking ass in order to capitalize on that. And that the same thing happened with podcasting. Got to the point where like, you know what, I'm not really seeing, like, my viewers were always higher for my podcast streams compared to my gaming, but not because I was bringing in their viewers. It was because that was the content that people wanted to see. And I'm like, well, if I'm not going to do this for the viewership, then what am I going to do this for? And as I got on, I realized, the thing that gets my cock throbbing is talking to professionals in their own thing, right? Yeah. Talking to the lead developer of OBS, talking to CEOs of companies, talking to people that can like whittle.
What the fuck am I doing on here then? I'm not a professional anything. I'm a professional moron.
That's the thing. You don't have to be, but like my idea was talking to people that loved their shit so much and then pulling stories out of it. Because I've always loved listening to stories, but so that's what I realized after the end of it was like, well, I started it for a good reason. I kept going for not such a great reason. And now I'm going to continue doing it because there was so much value that wasn't numbers that I was getting out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The whole viewership raid thing, I was just thinking about because I've had so many conversations. The one that still comes to mind is the McQueeb raid, where he got raided by Lethal Frag, and like they both communicated about the raid and like the audience turnover and playing the same game when raiding into and blah blah. That was one of those perfect alignments.
Yep.
Like usually whenever a Minecrafter or you're even like within same gaming communities, that's kind of the whole shtick. That's kind of I guess what stream tippers on YouTube would have you with networking, raid into the same games or get to know people in those communities.
Yep.
Type of vibe. With the podcast, it got to the point where I had to not so much convince myself, but kind of convince maybe the guests or people who wanted to be on the show, and maybe even my audience, that I'm not doing it for the viewership. Viewership got up there at one point, and then people were like, "Oh, dude, it's getting up there." She's like, first of all, don't jinx me. But it was more so if nobody, I think what hit was I had that ginger girl on, and she said, and this is no slight to her. She was just, she had expectations, which I try not lead with. She's like, not as many people showed up as I thought would. I was like, you were expecting people to show up? She's like, if like that was the reason why you thought I wanted to have you on, or you thought you were coming on the show, was for like, I wanted to get to know you. I just love doing it live because even if there's one or two people that want to ask a question, you know me, I interact with chat constantly. Well, not there's certain times where if I'm doing the podcast, I'll be like, oh,
he's
backtracking
chat.
Yeah, I interact with chat and I don't interact with chat. I don't have that balance. But for the most part, unlike like I kind of am keeping track of it, but I'm not gonna focus on it because I do have it up because I have a problem. I know we're live. Anyway, she was just like, yeah, not as people. I was like, that's not what this best case scenario for me. I can prove, or I get to show the people that enjoy me having talks with people, that I can have entertaining people on, or if they're fucking boring, I can make it somehow an entertaining show. I watched a podcast the other day, Whiskey Ginger. I don't know if you know the Whiskey Ginger podcast. He's a comedian, Andrew Santino.
Yep.
He had one of the Call Me Daddy girls on, and she was the most boring fucking interview of my entire life. I want to rip my skin off, but he made it so entertaining because he's such an entertaining dude that he pulled teeth to get that podcast. And as much as I wanted to turn it off because of her, no offense to her, but like fuck her, it's like I watched the whole thing because he made it so good. And like that's something I appreciate. And if I can also do that, I would love to be able to do that. No offense to boring people, but like you're just not a conversationalist. She is a great business person, but I don't know how she had a podcast. That was fucking bizarre to me. But yeah, it was like I can prove that. I get to show people that I'm a good conversationalist. So hopefully they like me. Best case scenario for the other person, my audience enjoys them, which as we saw, people in my group cross over, like Nikki Neurotic, Tony, Cosplay, like all kinds of people, they all still hang out in each other's chats.
Yep.
Like that's your cross blending of audience. You're stealing viewers if you want. So that's the other bonus. But at the end of the day, it really, at that point when I talked to her, it was like, I just want to get to know you, and I have the opportunity that you're giving me. It's a huge leap. Like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to have you on my show or my stream. But like, if you thought like this was going to be, and people would come out in droves because you were doing something, I'm sorry you got the wrong impression, but that's not what this is. It's not a clout chase for people who think, oh, I can be on this guy's show and people are going to see me. That's cool. Like if you get exposure from the show, fucking cool for you, man. If people enjoy what you do, but it's the same thing with the raids. Just because you have eyes in front of you, it doesn't mean you're ready. It doesn't mean you're entertaining. You just like, you got that opportunity, make the best of it, but don't have any expectations up because of it. Like that's what had to end up happening with my podcasts. And then, like I said, I just got overwhelmed with like backlogs and making it entertaining in my own head because I'm my own worst critic. And then I kind of just stopped doing it.
Podcast. I mean, I only have to get a guest every other week, if that, and that is so incredibly exhausting. Just to go out there, because I know you've experienced this. You go through the point where you'll bring on anybody. You'll ask anybody to be on, and then you have your 20th or 30 person on, and you say to yourself, well, I can't have anybody. So maybe I'll taper this off a little bit. And then you start tapering it off, and now I do not compromise. I have hundreds of people who've reached out to me to be on my podcast now. I have like a couple people every once in a while reach out and say, hey, like I want to be on your podcast. I'm like, okay, why?
Yeah.
And well, I don't know. It's like you seem like you'd be cool to hang out with. I'm not. Why else? Because a lot of the times people just see that and they go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody reaches out and says, hey, I want to be on the show, I'm like, cool, let's find some sort of common ground or a conversation that we can have. Because if I'm sitting here searching for a topic to talk about after the first half an hour, bad podcast guest. If within the first half hour, I have to look at my sheet and go, what can I bring up next that will evolve into another 30 minutes of discussion?
Dude, it's kind of like it's the podcasters version, the live podcasters version of Can I Play With You? Like,
yeah.
That like if you're playing a game, I've got like the first one of those since playing games. Like, hey man, can I jump in a game? And I have to be I don't know what type of person. I usually just go, no, I'm good. Or like I'm playing with friends. Or like I don't know. I had a dude. I felt really bad. If you're in here, sorry. If somehow you managed to come to that, like I promoted it, but as this random dude just followed. Hey man, I really I love your smile. I don't know. He said something like, I don't know. I was just happy. I was having a good time. I was playing with John, fucking go figure. We were playing Valorant, came in off of the Valorant tag and said, hey, can I play? I was like, oh no, we're playing now. He's like, okay, hit exclamation point Discord. My Discord is locked down. Like we're so at this point, the people in my Discord that still use my Discord, I fucking love you guys. We don't use it too much, but when we have a milk bar moment where we just hang out in the Discord, that's like, I appreciate the fuck out of that, even though it doesn't happen as much. But like, I was like, I don't want just anyone. We also had an incident way back where there was a bunch of black cocks that got showed live on stream. I don't know if did you ever find out about that?
No,
Do you
I
know
did
about
not.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, it was wild. So when I left, real quick, my Discord is locked down because of it. Anyway, he exclamation point Discord. I was like, oh, you seem nice enough. Don't be a fucking creep. If you are, I'm booting you real quick. So I dropped him the thing. But before that, I said, nah, man, you either have to be around for a while and I get to know you, or you have to use a Prime sub. I fucking use the Prime sub.
And I felt like you even give that option.
Because it's a call to action, and I was joking, but at the end of the day, it works. So now, if you want to get into my Discord, you have to sub up, bitches.
That's right.
He's shallow. I need money right now. I'll do anything. I'm a bitch. I'm a hooker.
Show me your fucking cock. I'll rate it.
Not lying. Not actually. Unless, how much am I willing to take? That's the. Out of context.
I've had a few people, and I never know how to respond to this because I feel like when people say it, they don't mean it, but they think that it means something. So I've had a couple TikToks that have gotten some traction, and then I get people in the comments that say, we're the exact same person, let's be friends. And it's like, that TikTok was 13 seconds. I don't really know how, like, we could have completely opposite morals, and I'll usually just do like smiley emoji right in response, but I never know how to respond to that. And I'm sure there was probably a time during social media where, or even like looking up to streamers, right, like posting in Future Man Gaming's chat 5 years ago, oh, Future Man Gaming, oh, you're so fucking hot, I think we'd be great fucking friends. I'm sure I did something like that to a streamer, but anytime I see that, I'm like, oh man. And when I see that, my first emotion is my second emotion is empathy, because it makes me feel like, okay, maybe they don't have people around, and they're really looking to just build a friendship. But that's the worst way to build a friendship. that is the worst way to start off, is what I would say.
Parasocial Andy. Fuck, I have two things I want to go off of. Goddamn. I have my parasocial relationship that I kind of still have to this day, but I'm aware of it. And then also the black cocks. Which one do you guys want to hear?
Why is skin color involved in the penises? John's rubbing off on you big time.
Because that's what they were.
They were cocks. They were cocks.
It was specific. I don't know, because it was like black porn. I don't know.
It's porn. It's just porn.
Fucking whatever, dude. I feel like I'm allowed to do the stereotype where you were like bling, and it was like a baby's arm holding an apple. Whatever. Fine. It was just a cock, a bunch of them. Just so happened that they were a little bit tanner than the other.
Whole bunch of penises.
They're like cock talk. Anyway, I had gotten off of affiliate for a while because I didn't believe. I was like, I don't need affiliate. I'm just doing this because of whatever. And then I got to the point where everyone's just like, we want to support you on Twitch. Please go back to affiliate. It's like, fuck it, whatever. Like McQueen was one of them. And then I signed the paper. I got the email, and it happened within like an hour. They're like, "Yeah, we want your money. Come on back." Yeah. And everyone was like, "Fuck yeah!" And we were all in the Discord. It was tens of people's. I forget. It was a bunch of people. And then luckily McQueen bounced. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna head out and start streaming." And then everyone's like, "Go live, go live." And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go live to celebrate." So I went live, and the Discord was still wide open at that point. We were in the public chat. And then I was like, "All right, we're wrapping this up. If anybody wants to come in and fucking yell at the internet, do it." And then two random dudes joined the Discord, jumped into the voice chat, and I was just like, I don't know these dudes. I kicked them at first, but I didn't kick them from the Discord. And then before I could kick them from the Discord completely, they jumped in, turned their cameras on, and it was just a bunch of ginormous PPs, since it doesn't matter. Which I guess it doesn't, but just to visualize it, in case you wanted to visualize it specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I cut it off. I ended stream, and then within seconds, they must have been trolls, which is like so bizarre to me. Reported me, and I have a strike on my Twitch channel because of it.
For the cocks?
Yeah, for like nudity or whatever.
Wow.
So like, I didn't get banned or anything, which is wild because some people have gotten banned for less.
Yep.
But yeah, I have a strike on my, so I can't get. At the time, it was 3 months. 3 months has definitely passed. But yeah, I had a strike on my channel, and all. It was immediate. None of my emotes were allowed to be approved. All that shit. Like it was wild.
So, I didn't know that
after,
you could get that.
Yeah, after that, I chopped off the Discord link, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. And then it also got to the point where it's like the people that were still using the Discord were homies. So I was like, it's gonna be us, and anybody that comes in, I want to be able to like, I don't know, it's gonna be a close knit, and I want to make sure if I'm giving out this smaller community, this more condensed homies, I'm gonna know who they are at the very least. So
if you were to wipe your slate clean of all the cocks that you've had in your eyes, would you continue with the podcasting? Would you go over more into the gaming realm? Do you want to be a full-time gaming streamer?
I would love to.
Okay.
Anyone and their mommy would want to be a full-time gaming streamer. Only
I let that dream go.
Yeah, I can't say I'm holding on to that dream by any means, but it's still in the back of my mind. Like, you never know. As long as I keep posting stuff, even if I get a full-time job, even if I'm just doing this once a week, there might be a moment where I've put enough content out on a regular basis that people enjoy what I do. Even all the homies that still come out to my streams, like our RN still occasionally streams, not all the time, but when RN goes live, you hang out, you're just like, oh shit, all right, we're going to hang out in the chat and shoot shit. Nikki doesn't stream all the time. We'll hang out in the chat, and you still have those small things, but in the back of my mind, there could be that moment where all of a sudden a clip ends up in front of somebody and they post it and you go viral. You have to make a decision. Do I invest a little bit more time and like ride that wave, or do I just keep doing my thing? But going back to the podcast thing, I really, like I said, it's like trying to lightning in a bottle again. I don't know if I can recreate, and part of me feels like I can like recreate those being known in the space, because I felt like as big as streaming is, my name would still get around. I don't know if that's conceited to say. Like when I'd show up in a place, they'd be like, anime. When I showed up in a chat, it was always so cool to be like, AnimeDatty, I know who you are. You're that fucking guy from TikTok.
Yeah.
Like that happened a bunch. And that was just like, it consumed me. So I was everywhere on TikTok. I was commenting. I was not only talking to people, but I was available in the space. And that was just a beautiful thing. And it all happened with the podcast. Right. So maybe I'll just do only the podcast if I get a full-time job. And I've worked 2 to 3 jobs my whole life. Maybe I'll go back to that and just do the podcast on a Saturday. I'll go live, hang out for a few hours, have a couple of my friends on, or maybe a creator. And then during the week, I'll just be tweeting at people, posting clips. I don't know, but
you can do both. I mean, like if you wanted to, you could split it up. But yeah, I guess I don't know what your streaming aspirations are as of now.
Like I said, I've been asking, my big thing is, what's your relationship with streaming? Because I need to ask it to myself. And it's like, right now I'm kind of just playing games and going live. And I did an editing stream the other day, and that was fun to do. But I don't know. Part of me wants, my favorite streamers now are those who just play games and make their content, and they on occasion will do like a collab gaming thing, but for the most part, they fucking go live, chat their audience, and that it's built from that. But on the other end of it, I'm known for the most part, and I get it constantly to this day. Oh, you play games? Yeah, of course I play games. Like, I
never knew that you played games until you actually started playing games. I had no idea that it was even an interest.
Yeah, I love video games, dude. That's why I ended up on Twitch. And that's the other thing. I want to play games. So I'm like, well, if I'm playing the game and I'm here, I might as well stream. And I know that's kind of an unhealthy attitude with it because I don't have to stream it, but they're games I want to replay. So I'm like, I want to replay them with my friends. Like, you sit in front of the TV. That's what Twitch can be. It doesn't have to be a Kadea way back. The first time I heard it was like, she found it so odd that we feel this tendency to monetize our hobbies, which in a way, Twitch kind of can lead to be you're monetizing you playing video games. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that.
Right.
It can be a hobby where it just so happens for whatever reason people want to throw money at you. Not actually.
So I've actually had that conversation with my girlfriend a lot because she's somebody who she streamed on Twitch for 3 years, and she was as big, if not bigger, than I was, and she did really well. And then it got to the point where she hated streaming. She hates social media. She hates content creation. She's completely removed from it all. Still has a Twitter account and stuff, but then she got into like crafting, doing paper craft, doing wood burning, and she was creating all of these things. And in my mind, I'm like, if you're going to create them and store them, why not just sell them? And she's of the mindset like, I don't have to, I don't want to, I don't have to monetize it. And I'm like, I think there's a difference between monetizing your hobby and then like creating a career or creating a side thing out of it. You don't have to run a business, but if you're going to make them anyways and they're just going to sit around, why not make money off of it?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Also, real quick, I just noticed I looked over at the stream and now I'm facing you.
Oh my God. The whole podcast is fucking ruined now. I wasn't even paying attention. Speaking of podcast ruined, did you realize that your podcast with cosplay, you were not using the microphones?
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
So yeah, it was weird because I would watch it and it would look like there was some attenuation in your voice, but you guys were both holding the microphones and there was no difference in volume or like presence when you guys were moving it around. You might want to go look. It seemed like it was coming from the laptop microphone. Either that or
from the lap. If it came from the laptop, then the M1 has a decent fucking
no.
mic.
It sounded decent, but it didn't seem like
it wasn't the mic. That's so weird. I did it from the Mac because that's what I do when I'm on the go.
Right.
I have the Rode Pod. We did it. You know the whole setup.
Yep.
Fucked my ass.
I don't know if the gain was just so low that it didn't matter how close you were, but it sounded nothing like when we did the podcast on my couch.
Motherfuckers, I'm the type of person that appreciates like, hey, is the sound off? Like any sort of thing, like, oh, the music's a little too high, and then I'll go in and change it and ask, like, it was late. Don't get me wrong, it was late as shit when we
it looked like it,
dude. Yeah, I went to New York to go to an anime convention, and the line was so long, dude. I got there, I got in line, and Master Roshi got behind me. It was this dude, and the Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you know what that is. He was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and like that was it, and flip-flops. And it was 30 degrees. It was fucking cold in New York. And we saw the line. We went around the building. It's Javits Center. It's huge. It's a convention center. And we went over and looked down, and it was just mass amount of people, and we were standing in line for about an hour, and my friend was already in line who I was meeting at the convention. She's like, we've been here for 3.5 hours in line. I was just like, fuck. I'd already been there an hour and a half, and I think it got to about 2 hours when officially I was like, you need to let me like cut in front of you. I'll pay you money. Like, I don't care if I'm that guy. I need to be that guy because I'm not going to get here and spend an hour in the convention.
right?
So eventually I was like, fuck it. Master Roshi left. He got an Uber back to the island because he was like, I'm over this shit. He was like shivering and like,
yeah,
yeah, it was bad. So I started to walk towards the front entrance, and then they started to split the lines in some weird way. So I was like kind of caught in between, and then I somehow got in before her. So I was sorry, Jem. So I got in before her. Anyway, I spent most of my day in line, and then I was at the convention all day, and by the time I got to Cosplay's house, it was like 10 p.m. And then he handed me this blue drink that was just alcohol. He would say differently, but it was alcohol. And yeah, I had Korean barbecue before and some drinks. And then by the time we went, he's like, do you still want to go live? I was like, fuck it, we'll go live. And yeah, it was like 11 p.m.
Yeah, and then you went for 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah. It was an hour. I was like, oh, we'll do for another hour. And next thing you know, it was 4 a.m. because we got drunk and we just kept going, blah, 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 talking and shit. And then I got 4 blue drinks in and I was like, oh, I'm drunk. And
At
then, yeah,
four? Holy shit.
4. And
Yeah,
then he made me have a Red Bull.
I did see that as well. I kept skipping through the VODs to see if anybody in chat was saying anything about the audio, but I think you guys were just so vibrant in your energies that nobody paid attention to the audio. But
yeah, he pulled up because he had it up on his TV was right in front of it. So of course I was looking at the viewership the whole goddamn time. So I was like, watch that number. And then as it got to 4 a.m., our viewership shot up to like 20 something. I was like, why are you here now? What were you doing before? Yeah,
my follower activity on TikTok is highest in between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Huh.
Have you looked at your analytics on TikTok before?
Oh, way back when I was super invested in it. But I think it was like early morning. My shit was, I get my, actually tomorrow, whenever I post on Instagram Reels at anywhere from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm guaranteed 1,000 views within the first like minute.
Holy shit.
Guaranteed. Every single time. If I post a video after that, it doesn't get anything. It's only one video every Monday that morning is whenever I get my views. And then anything I post during the week doesn't get fuck all. That's like
interesting.
I don't know. The algorithm likes me on that day.
Are you taking the videos that you're also putting on TikTok and just putting them on Instagram Reels?
Yeah, I'm repurposing everything for fuck it. That Hover. I don't use Hover for fuck off.
Why are you on Hover?
Because it's another place where I can just post and ghost, baby. I post and ghost on TikTok too. I don't interact on it unless I'm on my gamer account, in which case I'll put can you post more gaming clips, please?
By the way, you're gonna stop doing that today. I'm gonna turn you into a less of an a-hole. Just don't do it anymore, man.
Dude, it's funny because the people doing it's funny to get the reactions because it's not mean by any means. It's not necessarily a mean thing to do. What ends up the first time I did it, the guy was just like, LOL. This is the first time ever getting this. I was like, this guy appreciate it. And the second time I got it, the dude was just like, this isn't my gaming account. Why don't you go follow my gaming account on here? So he has 2 accounts, one for tips and one for gaming, which like appreciate. And then every other time I've just been ignored or other people have liked that comment. So it's like, right. I think it's as harmless as it gets. Cause I could be like, your advice is stupid and bad, which is what I do for all of Minty's shit. I would just be a bully in his comments. I'd be like, hey, can you stop making content? Or like, you're never going to get partnered. Just like really mean shit.
God damn, anime.
Dude. Hey, first of all, fuck that guy. That guy I legit have a vendetta and I know I need to stop talking about because the McQueen and me, I know I need to ignore it. But he showed up again and that dude came into my chat and said, let me be on your show in front of like 100 people. And I said, you know what, man, I'll give you a chance. Cause he had reached out to me to do stuff several times. And I was like, okay. And then at one point I just ignored him. And then finally he showed up when I had like 100 people, because of course he did. And then literally the next day he made that TikTok saying, I think I'm going to make a podcast where I talk to one-on-one streamers and we can all share each other's audiences and blah, blah, blah. And then in a comment, the motherfucker said, yeah, or like my goons, which I didn't ask them to do, went out and was just like, hey, this sounds familiar. This is what anime did. You're just going to show up in anime stream and then rip his idea, which like, I don't own podcasting. I was not affected by that TikTok at all until you goons went out and defended me, which I didn't need. Thank you, but I didn't need to do that.
You're welcome,
and then
anime.
and the thing that ticked me was he said, yeah, and I'm going to do it better than him. And that's what he commented. And how am I not going to get angry at that?
No,
hey,
I mean,
how am I not going to
rip
rip my pants off and scream into the darkness, turn into a werewolf and run towards his house and destroy his belongings? Like, yeah, I have a vendetta against that guy. That's why I don't worry. I did block him on all my alt accounts now because I knew I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But it's fresh in my mind again because I've had a lot going on. I got a lot going on in my head, man.
No, I get it. I've got some of my own personal vendettas. A lot of them are, the regurgitated stream tips that are slightly deceitful or just aimed at driving engagement are the ones that get me. But I've just realized that I just need to not be one with it at all. I just need to be on the opposite side of it. And so like there's a couple like Nikki Neurotic in chat. Speaking of assholes. I'm just kidding. I scared the shit out of him right now, just now.
No. We love Nikki.
I used to see him on my For You page all of the time. I would interact sometimes, but never ask not to be shown it. And then
Yeah.
eventually his content just disappeared. And there's
Yeah.
other people who I've not maybe it's because I don't follow them, but there's just some people that just fade into the TikTok world and you just don't see them for a super long time. You're like, that's really fucking weird because I didn't not like the content. Maybe I didn't
Yeah.
interact with it with as much as TikTok wanted me to. And then you can kind of lose sight of people. And then they kind of fall out of your whatever that is, a Dunbar's number. There's only like a certain amount of number of people that you can keep up with day to
I
day.
think it's Dunbar's. Yeah.
Very true. I mean, because TikTok just makes it so easy to interact with hundreds of thousands of people. But yeah, it's weird how that works sometimes. There was a lot of people like Cat, Unstable Pisces, Gold, somebody, Logan Echo. Those are all guys that were they were on my page nonstop. Which he actually lives in my city. I didn't know.
Who?
Logan Echo.
Huh.
Yeah,
That makes sense. I feel like
but again, just people that I never asked not to interact with, but they're all just people that have disappeared from my For You page.
I will say, like Cosplay said, some of those creators have stopped making content for the most part. Like Unstable really hasn't made a TikTok like in a while.
Really?
He still streams on occasion. Nikki hasn't made any content in a very long time. It's one of those things. There's tons of streamers who have stopped. Like Logan Echo in particular. Does he still make TikToks?
All the time. Yes.
Okay. Hey, Logan. Probably a great guy, genuine.
Got your vibe?
I'm gonna say it, and it's not meant to be mean because it's my opinion. It's cringe, bro. To me, it's like, ooh, like he's in love with his wife. Ugh, yuck.
The only reason it's quote unquote cringe to me is because I know that the facade is not his actual personality or it's not sustainable. Like,
yeah, I'll show up to his stream and be like, hey, what's going on? Or not to his stream or his videos. He'd be like, hey, and then I'll show up to his stream and he's just like, yeah. No, you got the guy. You're the guy. And I'm like, hey man, just be happy on stream too. Or like I can't
be happy all the time or fuck off.
Yeah. Hey man, you have to ruin your own mental health for my pleasure. And also like I can't, it's not my vibe. Also, another person, when I was doing, not that I owned it, there was a couple people that did it that tried to jump on the interview train. Like he tried to do interviews. When he was like, oh, I want to do it, and I think he did for like 5, and it was all like people who kind of already had viewership. And I was just like, hey man, this isn't the one. It's a lot more than just like banking on. He needed to find his niche, and I think he jumped in to try to do the interview thing. And I was like, I can tell like that's not gonna. It's not gonna be it. And I stitched him and like a couple other people that were like, I want to have you on my show. And I was just like, word?
Well,
I don't think you think this is what it is.
Again, it's very, very common for people to come into a show like this where there's like thousands of people watching and go, oh my God, I want to be a part of this. Or I see all the interaction and I want to do something like that. Most of the time when people say, I want to interview other streamers to get to know them, it's 100% just going after viewership. You know that people will get together. It's a different collab. It's a different type of networking. Because what you'll notice is the conversations are always the same. They don't vary much. And that's a pit that I fell into early on. It was just like, oh my God, every single podcast is the exact same. And one of the things that I had to learn, just like I had to learn with the rest of my content as well, is that if you don't start a week saying, my stream is going to do this today, this stream, actually planning ahead for the content that you're going to put out, it will eventually turn into it where you are going live, you are expecting the content to make itself, and then you are ending stream. And I'm sure in the moment when the dopamine is rushing, it feels great, but after a while, it fizzles out, and it always does. And that is the hardest part. That's what divides the content creators, I'm sorry, the streamers from the content creators. The content
Yeah.
creators figure out ways to take the content that they're already making and plan ahead and actually build scripts or build purpose for each show going on into forever.
I will say, it's funny because I had, oh god, what's that guy? He keeps showing up in my recommended on Twitch. Jumping off like TikTok. I'm obsessed with name dropping and talking about people. I don't know what it is.
You are.
I've done that my entire life. It's just if it's anyway, I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't give a fuck. Oh god, what Muscle Hawk?
Yep.
I just keep thinking about, you want to talk about like how do you get viewership or what is your content and blah blah blah. He keeps showing up, and I think he's down to like, and no slight on him. No slight. This is not me. This is just an observation once again, in my opinion, in my views. He's down to like 15, 20 people. And at one point he was like up to 60 because he did the whole I want to view your bullshit, like that tactic, those things that irk me that you try and get viewership in, but it takes a certain type of person to keep, I don't want to use manipulating, but using tactics to bring viewership in. And it was one of those ones where it was just like,
so
nice try, bud. We tried to warn you. We tried to warn you.
When that first TikTok originally blew up, I made a comedic jab at it.
I remember.
And then 3 months later, I went back to that same TikTok, and then I started looking up some analytics and such. And then I made a reply TikTok like, hey, remember this whole thing? And a lot of the comments back then were like, look at that. It's working. This is why people do it. I'm like, yeah, it's working now. Yep. And then you fast forward 3 months and you watch the graph go down, and it happens every time. No, but nobody ever goes back to check, right? Everybody sees the blow up. It's the flavor of the week. Yep. The week ends. Everybody forgets, and not many people go back and look. And it's the same thing every time. I mean, he obviously got a bump from it. He found some core people, which some people would say, okay, well, that is successful.
Rossi, who I had on a while back, it was during the streamathon. I was on a couple of his game shows, and he had a huge blow up because he was on what's the Austin show.
Oh yeah.
He was on the dating thing, or he's a part of it or something. So he had a huge fucking boost. And he learned that he's had a lot of those moments of high exposure because he's a likable dude. He's outgoing. He does a ton of collabs. Those are his biggest shows. He does Streamers Decide. I think he did a crab games like everyone. But he said, honestly, biggest thing I've learned, and I've is hard to wrangle, but recently I think he has to re-wrangle it, but you have these giant bumps and you have to find those people within there. And what ends up happening is this, but hopefully what happens is you come up here, you got your bump, you come back, and then maybe you're right here. And then you find that next thing, maybe you're right here. And then sometimes it might dip, but maybe those people from back then or over here will come back. And it's those big moments. So yes, those tactics suck, but he went from maybe being a 5 average to a 7 average, which that's a rotating 7. That's a rotating 20. It's not going to be the same, assumingly, if you're if someone who lurks at least a whole fucking 6 to anywhere from 2 to 10 hour stream. It really doesn't matter.
Right.
But like that's a rotating 40. You have 40 different people, or 20 if it's a steady 20. I was talking to Cosplay about this. That's just, you find those people, but you have to go through those tactics or those events or those exposure moments, and you just kind of have to deal with that because you're never going to be able to live that high again because that's just the beast. That's part of what I've learned about streaming and what fascinates me with building within this industry. So
sure,
watching all that shit unfold and talking about those people outright, I have no problem, clearly, because like I said, I'll drop a name any fucking day.
Do you know why that is?
Because I'm shameless. I don't know. Like, why am I not gonna drop a name? What do I like? As long as I'm not full on talking shit. Like I said, no offense to Musclehawk. The only offense I may have had was like he used that bullshit, and I said, "Hey man, this ain't gonna be it." I should have just ignored it, but like I said that to Epos Vox when he first got to TikTok, because I was like full send. And once again, no offense to Epos, Love the guy's tech like he knows his shit, he's been around, but like, you know, sometimes he says shit or he like presents it in a way where I'm just like, hey, chill. Also, and I've said this a million times, twit longer. I don't want to read through 40 fucking tweets, EPOS. Just it irks me. Just do a twit longer, you
I
fucking
think
gabagoo.
that is how, when you see responses like that, that is how their brain works, where
I,
they have the thought, they leave, they come back, they have a thought, they leave.
it's
And I have a couple people like that where that's their thought process.
Yeah, I that one, and hopefully, and through that and me saying this, so yeah, EPOS came to the platform, was like, hey man, maybe like relax, you're like burning through a year's worth of really good TikTok content within minutes, because he was video replying to every comment he disagreed with. I was like,
Yep.
I get that, like I did that too, but like there you have a lot of great points you're making, and I think you could fucking blow up even further on TikTok if you just like pace yourself. And he was like, it's content, and like threw me to the side. And I was like, you know what? I'm angry at you. I'm a nobody in your eyes, and I completely respect that. And that's kind of what I had to deal with. Like, irked me the wrong way. Gotten to like him in my own way, but hopefully by saying this and saying out loud, I can. A lot of the people who I've talked shit about or I have opinions about, hopefully you can. I phrase it or whatnot where it comes off as constructive criticism, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You
Sure.
don't you don't have to follow it. It's just my opinion, but like maybe like when someone came to my TikToks where I was being a certain type of way, I went, well, why don't you look at it this way? Now I come up a lot more brash than someone who might be a lot more polite. But at the end of the day, like what's gonna end up happening? I can only do so much. Someone's gonna take me the wrong way. I don't know. So I might as well full send it and like drop a name or give my full opinion. And then hopefully, if I'm like my friends who say dumb shit, Sean, you'll call me out and I'll be like, okay. Hopefully I didn't go too far and you can correct me and I'll reevaluate what I said. Hopefully there are some people out there, and it's not your job to be patient with me and teach me, but I appreciate those who do. Like when when I learned about anything like gender topics or like Mickey or any of my trans friends, like learning about that world and the things people go through. Those people gave me their time and their patience to learn about what makes their life so hard, and they didn't need to do that, and I appreciate that people do that, because there's a lot of anger within that, because it's not their job to teach me to not be fucking stupid about their troubles.
Sure.
So that's that shit I appreciate, and I've gotten away with it so far, so I'm still going to continue to be an asshole.
Well, here's a little bit more for you. So there's been a lot of times where I've tuned into your stream, like just going into your stream randomly,
Yeah.
and you'll be on the topic of somebody else, and then I'll
Yeah.
leave, and I'll come back like a week or two later, and I'll join in, and you're talking about somebody else, and like
Yeah.
for a little while, your content was other streamers, where like it wasn't anything about what you were doing. Like it was like this is the point of the stream and this is our focus. It was always just your interactions with other people, and that
Yeah.
kind of became your personality for a little bit, to be
Yeah.
honest.
It still kind of is to a certain extent.
But do you like that?
Yeah, I'm still interacting with. I don't know. That's how I get to. If somebody gives me the time, I guess that's how I get to know them. But I don't know. I kind of. I like it. I will always. That's kind of what I always go back to it. But I don't know. Yeah, my content is other people, and that's fine. Maybe that means I'm a boring fucking person, but I can make other people's situations funny. I don't know. Like,
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's probably a little bit of like that's the spark, right? Is having those interactions with people, seeing that thing that pisses you off.
Yeah.
That's your spark in order to do something. And I think maybe if you wanted, it would be a little bit of training the spark to be something else. The thing that gets you going to maybe go in another direction. Because like all the things that we just talked about, like all of the other creators that we just talked about, all the name drops, complete dog shit in value, right? Like there's no substance to any of those conversations. That's just us really just shooting the shit. Which I don't mind, because I think it's good to go back and just talk about nothing every once in a while. But when you do that on a consistent basis, like suddenly you're just talking about nothing for a really long time.
I think there are points within. I use those people, like maybe there's examples in those stories or those things that I brought up I don't know, maybe as far as we talk about, if you want to boil it to niching down to streaming content, like using certain tactics, those people are my examples, which like, you never,
Sure.
I guess that's fucked up. Like, oh, you're my example. Sorry, you're the example I'm going to set.
Well, no, not necessarily, because like, how can you use an example without naming somebody, right? Like people associate situations with names, but I think the issue is that when it comes to streamer culture, just naming somebody else, people automatically think toxicity. They think, oh, you're just talking shit. Oh, you're just a hater.
I want to take that away. Why can't I be the person that takes name dropping away from like, hopefully I can phrase it like I said, where it's like this person maybe did something that I don't agree with, but maybe there's something in this that clearly everyone, assumingly who I talk about, still pops off, or they use a tactic, or maybe they're creating that I don't understand, that I'm trying to. I want to name like 8 more people now, but it's like it's how I process, I guess, whatever a point I'm trying to get across, is I use people and examples and what they have done, because people confuse me. People are intriguing. Like they do things that I want to figure out. Maybe I'm a problem solver in that sense. So it's like, what? Why are they like? Why are they like this? And why does it pop off? And like, I'll obsess over it. I guess it's part of that obsessive. This is the therapy session. Every podcast is a therapy session.
Is that actual song? You just making that up?
I'm just making that up, man.
Oh, okay.
At literally every podcast I do, no matter what, is always a therapy session, even my own.
So going back, when you said like, why can't I be that guy that sets the precedent, right? That when I talk about somebody, now, if you were a chat member listening to you talk in the beginning of the podcast, you've said, I'm a bully, I'm an asshole, I love drama, but I want to change the way that people talk to each other because I think we can make things constructive instead of like, would you believe you?
Sure, maybe. Nothing's out of reality.
I would.
Okay, that's fine.
So no, like again, just giving you outside perspective about like what you say, because I think I have a general understanding of you. Right.
Yeah,
now I do. I don't know who you are as a person, right? I don't know where exactly your morals stand, but I can see the dude that I know you want to be, but I think that there's certain triggers within TikTok and Twitch and just in general social media that might light the wrong sparks for you sometimes.
People.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Every single person in their actions sparks something within me that makes me furious. Not actually. I don't know, man. There's a lot of levels between, I don't know, calling myself an asshole to finding out that sometimes I say decent shit. I don't know. I'll never figure it out. I just gotta do what I do, and either you get it after a while, or hopefully you're mature enough to ignore me and move on, which I should do for a lot of things.
I was just about to say.
But I'm not gonna. You know why? Because that fuels me.
Yeah, that's what gets you going.
Because I'm dead inside. Fuel. Give me fuel. Give me fire. Give me that. What that is. DMCA, come fight me.
God damn it! You had to do that on this channel.
I know. Evolve them. Do as I say, not as I do. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know, man. Hopefully it gets like our relationship irked. We got to know each other somehow. There we are. You know, and I feel like even people who haven't maybe done that for me, I've done it for plenty of other people. Like I said,
sure.
Epos. I appreciate everything he does now. His Streamlabs video that he got shit from with Hassan and all those fucking people.
That was so ridiculous.
Wow. I still appreciate that he I still made fun of every single video. I love how you fell for it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were fucking with me too.
No, I fell for it.
You fell for it? Oh,
yep. The GIF context did not make it through to the reasonable side of my brain. And I'm like, wait,
I needed
why
a better
doesn't he
GIF.
Get this?
Yeah, no, I definitely. It was because every single tweet and now YouTube video and TikTok was how to switch from Streamlabs to OBS. I've been using OBS since like the month after I started streaming. So don't worry, everybody. I'm good. I do use the alerts. So I'm going to have to at one point switch over from the alerts, but it is what it is.
Speaking of OBS, I saw that you had responded to my homie Loco's tweet about something. So it was about what the live light wire
It was
light stream.
Lightstream. Yeah. When it first dropped, she was the first person I think to like comment on it, and I had no previous. And this is the other thing about one of the comments that Libby had, Askesian, way back when we first had our conversation, was a lot of creators don't do what I do and like just speak out on like enough bullshit. I had no idea that Streamlabs had a past of being fucking scummy.
Yeah.
And and I'm drunk. Sorry, Libby. Libby may or may not have. It wasn't her. It was some outside source that let me know in a private DM that they have a past. And I was like, I didn't know that. I originally, Loco was just like, hey, somebody copied their work. And my thought is, for whatever reason, because sometimes I give the benefit of the doubt where I was trying to, I thought, oh, there's like 3 people, or there was like an intern or somebody new fucking ripped them off because they're lazy, shitty employees. And then their manager didn't take a look at it and was just like, whatever, throw it out because we need to get it out, because they were trying to like move it out. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Here, I didn't know it was a long, constant thing. So like within seconds, I got a DM from somebody that was just like, no, dude. And I was just like, fuck. So I was like, I'm just going to delete my tweet. And they were just like, you don't have to do that. I was like, I'm just going to delete my tweet because I don't want to be that asshole. Because I was trying to give, I'm sorry, I was trying for once in my life trying to give the benefit of the doubt. And it just so turned out it was a fucking
the wrong benefit.
Like, and I did, here I am boycotting all Activision Blizzard. And I'm standing by that. And I do one fucking thing. So I was like, I don't need, you know what? I get it. So sorry.
And it's funny because I think I was doing dishes and then I hear from the other room, Anime's getting in trouble. I'm like, what's he doing? He goes, I don't know. He responded to something Loco said. And then she's like, I was getting live feedback as she was figuring it out. She's like, uh-oh, people are responding to his tweet. Oh, he deleted the tweet. I can't find it.
It was my one source that let me in. And like I said, it was just because Loco. And once again, I also like Loco. But it was funny when I was way off streaming and doing my trip. Look, here we are still talking about people, but I fucking love it, dude. This is my shit. It means nothing, and we'll forget about it.
It's okay to talk about what happened.
But when she first announced Solar GG, or is that the thing you're a part of?
Solar Stream, yep.
Solar Stream, yeah. I don't know if I tweeted it, but I definitely almost tweeted it. Do you know what Pipeline is?
Yes.
I added Pipeline and I said, hey, you guys.
Yeah. They're very similar. They're very, very similar.
It's another thing I was in now, and I still kind of am very in between helping streamers. Yep. That was one thing. As soon as I mostly got in, even though that's what I talk about a lot, I don't want to be a stream tip person. I don't want to I'm not necessarily out to help streamers, which, as shitty as that sounds, is like, because I think there's too many variables within this industry to be like, this is the thing. Here's your course. Like, I like how with Loco, there's a lot of testimonials and like creators and like a diverse amount of people that maybe I really haven't dug into it because I looked at Pipeline and I think I joined Pipeline for like a day and I was like, give me my money back. This is bullshit. So that's unfortunately my mindset with anything streaming advice, a stream scheme. Yep. I think LJ does stream scheme. Loco has her stuff, but yeah, I added Pipeline, and then like I said, I don't think I tweeted it, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna she's trying to help people, and you got to respect that hustle. I just think that's not what I'm trying to do, and I don't need to take that away from other people. So that was one of those moments where I was like, what would McQueeb do? But the moment I didn't take a step back was the Streamlabs thing, and apparently
you picked the wrong one. And I was gonna go into the replies because there were people that were just making assumptions about you, and I'm like, wait, what?
More people commented
after you tweeted that. She quote tweeted you, and then don't go looking for it. Don't go looking for it.
Oh, I'm looking for it. Oops, and he did an oopsie.
And so anyways, I saw a lot of people just making assumptions about who you were, and I'm like, okay, as somebody who knows Loco very well, and as
Yeah.
somebody who knows anime sort of well, and then to see, I was like, this is the problem when people start quote tweeting things that are incorrect. Is it just the mob mentality comes in, people start dogpiling on, stop looking for it,
Where was
anime.
it? Where was it, bro? Did she delete it? She probably deleted it.
No, she probably didn't. It was only a couple people, and I was gonna go in there and be like, "Hey, you don't know anything about this person. It could have been an oopsie. Like, chill the fuck out." But I just left.
I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt because I thought it was some shitty employee that fucked up and was just being lazy. And like I said, that was the thing. No, there's no. It took this bigger fucking moment for other companies to jump on rather than speaking up. Like OBS finally spoke up after so many years of this whole debacle.
Right.
It's like that's why with the whole Blizzard Activision thing, we need like this needs to be talked about. Way back when I had we did the women in gaming thing, and I had a bunch of people on for that, and we talked about just speaking up and like being forefront with this shit. I didn't know there's tons of people who don't know the difference between Streamlabs and OBS, bare minimum that, let alone the shit that they pull. Like this stuff needs to be talked about full front. Some feelings might get hurt, but hopefully within that back end you can go look at it this way, or I'm glad you spoke about it and not just like put it to the side or like felt defeated. Like maybe there are moments where you're overstepping or you might misspeak or you have the wrong information, but at least it's being talked about. At least this information is getting out. Like, and
Right.
that's where I got fucked, and I get assumptions made about me because I didn't know. And what am I
Right.
going to do? Defend myself? I could, but also
It doesn't matter at that point. Yeah. Yep.
get fucked.
Yep.
I don't give a shit. I'll go work. I'll go cut grass for the rest of my life and keep streaming on Twitch. You know who shows up? The fucking homies.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
that's the thing about when OBS made their tweet, there were a couple responses that were like, finally this has come out, or finally people are talking about this. Well, I'm like, well, I'm glad you guys knew.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, because I had made a tweet about like, hey, yeah, what Streamlabs did, super fucking shitty, but let's get a couple things straight. One, they made a donation to the OBS project, which was half true, half not.
That's right.
And-
That's right. Yeah, go on.
And somebody had responded, somebody that works on OBS were like, hey, that's not really true, but I can't talk about it. It's like,
Yeah, dude.
well, how are we supposed to get anything fucking straight?
Unless there's an NDA, open your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. You know, you don't have to do shit. You can like get your ass whooped the rest of your fucking career, but you know what? Fuck it, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Fortunately, business is just as political as the rest of life, but yeah, no. So I saw that, and I'm like, because full disclosure, I worked with SolarStream. I created a bunch of content for them to have on the platform.
Yeah.
I've known Loco for about 4 years now.
Oh shit.
Before she did SolarStream, she did Streamer Square, which was a free website, and she had been creating free content for that for years and years and years and years. So I know, like, Loco is the only person I trust in this ecosystem to do what she's doing.
Yeah.
Everybody else who's trying to do stream coach, stream training, no, let Loco do it.
On a quick double back, and this is more for me. I did show up. I think I've talked in her chat maybe once or twice. And then maybe the day after the Streamlabs thing, I don't know. I went to her chat and she was gonna, I think she posted it on the company website, the knock like Solar Streamlabs coming soon. It was like a joke thing. She was making that and like having her chat like talk her out of posting it because she thought it was a bad idea because it was a company Twitter.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, don't do it. I'm like, you're gonna have to deal with the repercussions regardless. Like, just do it. And like nobody interacted with me. And I was like active in the chat for an hour. And maybe is that why? No, because they saw my tweet.
That's you looking too far into it.
Yeah, this is me eating myself alive because of it. But like, and not to say she doesn't have to read every comment, but I feel like she looked at my comment and it was just like, oh, this fucking guy. I could be wrong, and I'm probably looking into it. But I was there for an hour talking actively, and I felt like I went to this bar last night, and it was a local bar, and I felt like I was in I walked in on a movie set. It was just me. I was like, I sat down, and everybody was like talking to each other and hugging every single person, and I was the fucking weirdo in the restaurant. I was just like, I I shouldn't be here. Like this is a public restaurant, but apparently it's locals night. And I
Everyone's fucking.
yeah, legitimately, everybody was related as far as I was concerned, and I was the weird motherfucker that just walked into the movie set. That's how I felt in that chat. So guess who's never going back because insecure.
Loco has one of the most close knit, like comfortable communities that I've ever been in. I will say that to this day.
Can that be a bad thing though? Like close knit, like
Absolutely.
Isaac, L21 Isaac or L2 whatever the fuck Isaac mentioned his community at one point, and maybe even still now is so like I guess mine too in a way, but now I'd say we're relatively open-minded when we're not talking shit about people or open or welcoming is the word I wanted to use. But he said like they were just so passionate, like any weird person or anyone who was slightly off, they'd be like, "Who are you? What do you want? Why are you in this community?" Or like just ignore them and not like even talk to them and chat and stuff. And it's like, is there a certain level to like you have to be more? I don't know. Close knit is cool, but like, when does it get to be a little too culty? Maybe.
No, absolutely. Because and the whole aspect of paywalls and emotes and culture, they all feed into that, right? It's like you want to create a culture that's scalable, but at the same time, emotes are sort of inside jokes to an extent. And when you're thinking about creating emotes for your channel, you kind of have to keep that into consideration. Like, how do I create an emote that makes people want to pay money for it, that can be used during a certain situation? Get out of here, Mom! He's busy! Is he right there?
No. You are slowing down on my end, so I was checking the stream to see if it was just me. Also, you got a drink behind you, so you had.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize that she was back there.
I think my internet's about to take a shit. No, don't do this.
You're still here for me.
So okay, keep going. We'll just pretend. If I disappear, just keep talking. Just keep talking like normal. It's fine. Oh no, my internet's about to take a shit.
Oh, no. I was kidding. I was just staying still.
Oh, no,
Gotcha, bitch.
Occasionally at like 12 a.m., my like Comcast just resets my internet and it's down for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. You got maintenance going on.
I guess so. Like last week, at like every single night around like 12, it cut off. So hopefully we're good.
You might have somebody on your circuit that like right at 12 o'clock, their local porn storage just replicates to the cloud and just sucks the entire block dry. I like that.
Anyway, I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Clicks and
something being too close knit. And I think it's the same again on the other side of it. You have people that will leave when your community gets too big because the clique is actually dissipating, which sucks. There's a lot of people who I had in my stream for 3-4 years, and then all of a sudden they're just gone, but I still see them hanging around other people. Now, obviously, my content is completely different from what it used to be, right? It used to be this super, man, I think if you would have seen my streams 2 years ago, you would not have given me the chance to get to know me.
Huh. Really?
Yep.
I don't want to say that. That's a bummer.
But okay, so that really speaks into my the ideology that you grow so much doing this for a long period of time. Like I have this analogy of the Tootsie Pop, Tootsie Roll Pop. Tootsie Pop, is that the actual real name?
I think it's Tootsie Pop.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could say Tootsie Roll Pop, but I think you can just say Tootsie Pop.
Tootsie Pop. The shit center is your core being. It's your core personality. And then the candy shell on the outside is your streamer facade. It is the protection that you put around yourself when you're live. And as you stream,
blow pop, but it's fine.
Well, I'm trying to get away from my sexual tendencies where we're just talking about Tootsie Pops, okay?
So your shit core, go on.
Yeah. Talking about pooper holes instead. Every time you stream, you're taking a lick of that Tootsie Pop and you're getting to the core. And for me, it took a really long time to drop the streamer facade and actually do and act how I actually am. Like you saw me how I acted in my own house, right?
Yeah.
How on par is it with my streaming personality?
Pretty on par. Like
now it is.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago when it was super high energy, bright lights, super loud notifications,
Yeah.
crazy amounts of audio. That was what I couldn't sustain after a certain amount of time. And I had to learn, like, oh, you know what? I don't have to be this way all of the time. I can just settle down a little bit and focus on different things, because I liked loud and
Yeah.
abrasive, and those are the streams that I went after. But nowadays, those aren't the streams that I go after. I would never have watched McCreeb 3 years ago. Not my vibe. Would not have been my vibe 3 years ago. But now that I am after a way different type of content to consume, McQueeb's my shit. McQueeb is the shit.
I think what you meant to say was McQueef. So
You know what? I told myself I was only going to do that to him once, but that, you know what? You have to be able to do this to yourself. That is a TikTok that I can genuinely go back to and fucking laugh.
yeah,
That TikTok makes me laugh.
those are those moments where, I don't know, I guess still depending on how you've built a relationship, that kind of solidify a certain type of whatever that level of relationship is that you can kind of get with something. Like, I don't know, when you guys start interacting with, I just like it when that, like I said, that's what I didn't think would happen when I got into this, is the crossing of creators, and then just getting to, like, you saying you'd never watched McQueen before, and then I got you guys in a room and just the conversations we had. I still have clips from our first conversations and then the streamathon and all that stuff that I'm going to post, because they're just such, you never think, looking at the separate pieces of content, that you could come together and just these relationships would build, or these conversations. And the beauty of it, which we all have the common interest of streaming, but we can go out to, like you were saying before with my podcast and your podcast, is it always felt like you were having the same conversation. The beauty is I felt like I got to a level where our common interest was streaming, but we could finally, like, just be ourselves and then have an actual, that's what I want. If I do go full force on the podcasting, I want to get to that point where I know a creator, I know that what we have in common is we create, but then we finally can, like, just fucking vibe, and I can talk shit when I go off on a tangent, or you can talk about, I don't know, whatever cool fucking thing you're into this week, making Philly cheesesteaks, or learning how to make bread, or dude, any, like, jack of all trades, but, like, we can get into any of those topics usually, and it's totally fine if we go back to streaming. That's what it goes back to.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like, just being able to call back to, like, fun moments like that, or I don't know, that's what I love. That's what I want to get back to 100%. Also, John is in chat, and I had to just acknowledge it.
Oh, no.
So I'm gonna have to leave, everybody. I have to take my leave. No, not actually.
No, it's good, and I'm glad that you want to get back to it, because I think that you did a very good job of it, and with a couple tweaks, I think you could really bring it back and do an awesome job with it.
What would be those tweaks? What would your advice be to me if I were to bring the podcast back full send?
The one thing that I mentioned before was not doing it with anybody, of actually having targeted people that you do it with a goal in mind, right? Not just, I want to have you on to get to know you. And that's okay if you want to have that every once in a while. But when you're looking for people to bring onto the show, think what is the best, like, what's the best thing that I could get out of this conversation that would mean a lot to me and or mean a lot to the community, right?
Yeah.
Is if you can think of, like, so the people that I've had on just like in the past, like the lead developer of OBS, like having him on, having him talk about his journey and his story. I know that there's value in him talking about his upbringing. I know there's value in him talking about some of the back end stuff that's been going on with OBS. Maybe if you drop in, you'll have a chance at hearing about what OBS is planning on doing in the future, right? I did a podcast with the CEO of Deity Microphones, right? Obviously, right, audio technology. I want to hear what he's about. I want to hear about the past of the company. I want to hear about where they're going, the products that they're working on. I also want to build a professional relationship with the person. If you can start telling off things like that for your guests, some of them can be selfish. 100% have some selfish ones in mind, because my podcast is selfish. I've been doing this for 5 years for the borderline the same viewership that I've always done it, because I do this shit because I love it. But at the same time, if you want it to be long lasting, you have to tailor it a little bit for the audience member. You have to give them something. It can't just be like, oh, well, like me and my friends are fucking hilarious and anybody would watch. It's like, all right, well, I mean, we think we're hilarious, but are we actually funny? You know, it makes you think.
I mean, that one thing obviously can be streaming. Like, I don't mind. I've always said I don't mind being a streamer. Like, that's I think. Sorry, go on. I don't think you weren't done.
No, that's okay. So, general idea of like trying to have a destination for the podcast, and of course, you can veer off. Like, I had 6 talking points listed, and we've touched on one of them. That's what I love about podcasting. Not streaming with anybody who will offer, right? When we were talking earlier about people just reaching out and saying, hey, we should do a podcast. And you're just saying, oh, yeah, okay. It's like, why? Yeah. Why should we do a podcast together? Yeah, planning ahead is definitely going to be a massive thing for podcasts.
Hey, I don't like to plan. I'm very impulsive. I got on my bike and just started traveling a week after I said I was going to do it.
You want to hear the other thing you're not going to like?
No,
capping the times.
Nope.
Yep, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
You fucking bitch. I have so much more I want to chat about. I'm a chatty Cathy. We didn't hit any of the topics. Lightning round. What were the other 5 topics?
Not gonna actually. You know what? I'm gonna delete them so you can't even go back and.
Fucking son of a bitch.
They're gone.
No, I'm curious.
But doesn't it make you want to just fucking come back another time and do it again?
You don't want to have me on again. I'll just shit talk more people.
No, dude. I mean, listen. It happens. It goes off the rails. But again, that's why I do this shit. And if you can wrap it up with a nice bow and make it constructive, I mean, not gonna lie, people want to hear people talk about other people. Let's not pretend that everybody doesn't love a little juicy titty every once in a while. It's how we're humans. This is just how it goes. But if you are consistently doing that, because like I try to make it a point to not talk about or name drop anybody else ever, unless there is something constructive to come out of the other end, right?
Yeah.
Like any normal day, I wouldn't have asked you why you tweeted Loco, but I knew that. I was like, I'm really curious what had actually happened because I know Loco so much.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I gotta find that tweet. I'm pissed. People are shit talking me. Ooh, baby.
Somebody did call you what did they say?
Oh no.
Like a typical Joe Rogan listener or something.
Yeah,
which we do, and I do too. Well, I don't
short,
anymore, but
white and straight. What the fuck else am I gonna listen to?
Muscular and bald.
NPR? Fuck. Actually, I really don't listen to Joe Rogan as much.
I don't either.
Like the only time I listen is when he has other comedians on because I just want to laugh and I just want to hear bullshit.
I need Joe Rogan, Whiskey Ginger, and then Anthony Schultz. Anthony Schultz?
Yeah,
Andrew
Schultz is who I saw in Vegas, and there's the reason why I took my motorcycle trip. You know that, right?
Hell yeah. So. But yeah, so yeah, those. I mean, I'm not a podcast master. Like, I don't know all of the ins and outs. I don't like overproduced shit, right? Like you've recorded podcasts offline and then edited them and then posted them. I would never do that. But that's just something that's on like the complete opposite end of podcasting for me. Whereas for you, cutting podcasts short at a certain point is like, absolutely not. And I said the same thing before. And I'm not good at it. I still don't do it all the time, but I try and do it a little more often now.
Yeah. I mean, I did cut off when I had my slots. It was half hour, and then 2 hours for the main guest. So it was a lot of podcasting with multiple people, but I always made sure it was 2 hours. Maybe.
I don't know how the fuck you did that.
I just kept talking. Dude, I can keep talking. Like I said, I could keep going. We went last night. You put a couple of drinks in me, I can go for 4 hours.
Did you do a podcast last night?
With cosplay, or not last night, Friday night with cosplay. Sorry.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. With the cosplay one where we just finally, it was the impulse thing, dude. We were like, let's go live. And I was like, fuck it, we'll go live. And then an hour, I looked at it. It was an hour. I was like, all right, we'll do one more hour. And then it was 4 hours later.
Wait, so if you had already came home from your road trip, did you just take a spontaneous trip out to him with your bike again?
To cosplay?
To New York, yeah.
No, I drove my truck. It was too cold.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I came back home and my friend was like, I'm going to an anime convention in New York. And New York is like an hour and 45 minutes from me.
Got it.
So it was
Okay.
like I just jumped in my truck. If it was warm, I would have taken the bike, but it was cold, so I drove my truck, went to the anime convention, spent all day there, and then got the cosplays because he's like, "Yo, if you're here, you can crash." And he has a beautiful home, and he let me crash. And I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I haven't showered in 2 days, and this is the outfit I've worn since Friday, because I'm depressed and I don't wanna. And I will continue to wear this outfit until I don't know when, because I'm weird and I have an issue, but it's fine because I'm happy. And I went to a show, Mega 64 show last night, and got a Cubano and some Coronas. And now,
Oh,
yeah, baby,
I love Cubanos.
dude, no, so many people don't know what Cubanos are. They're pronounced gyro, not gyro. Fight me about it. Two of my favorite sandwiches,
Yep.
and then ska music. Those are my three diehard ska is take it or leave it. I get it. But like people who say they don't know what ska is, literally, you know, man, just like I don't have my soundboard, but like I'll beat you up. Yeah. Anyway, so that's I don't know. I overshare. I overshare. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Yeah. Any questions? I don't know.
I've had a couple depressive bouts, right? Like a couple weeks. I don't think that I have ever been depressed, but yet my little interactions with it have made me think that I understand what depression is.
Yeah.
With that said, I have never been so depressed that I have not showered. And so that scares me because I wonder how shitty somebody has to feel to not be motivated to even shower. And that makes me sad.
The only time I don't is if I get to the gym, it's like, of course I'm not going to shower afterwards. So the only thing that keeps me relatively healthy is forcing I wouldn't say forcing, but actively going, if there's anything I'm going to get done today, it's that I've worked out even a little bit.
Sure.
And not in an unhealthy way. Like it's my one thing. And it's tough to get there anymore because I've sort of lost the drive that I used to. But working out was another thing I obsessed over. I was obsessed with fitness and being healthy, and not in like an overly like I was taking all kind of like I was like legitimately I was balancing my life. I was hitting a groove, and fitness was that main thing. And now more than ever, it's kind of one of those anchor points where streaming can be that for some people. Like, and no offense to anyone who overstreams, John, and maybe McQueep, like you just stream every single day because it's comfortable. It's that one thing you've accomplished for that day. So
Yeah.
I will shower, and it's mostly like I said, I'm now in a moment where I don't have no structure in my life. So it's like I'll just go all day doing one thing. I'll be tired. I'll fall asleep on the fucking couch over there. I'll wake up and I'll go on. I've been moving all weekend. Went to New York, did the thing, drove back from New York, got home, took a shit, jumped back on the road, went out to Philly, went to the show, came home, went out to eat by myself, got a Cubano, woke up this morning, applied to like 80 jobs, went back out, helped my buddy move a couch, came back here. And, you know, I in between that, I didn't say it was time for a shower. You can't smell me on the internet, so fuck it.
I'm envious, and this is TMI on a super high level. If I don't shower for like more than 24 hours, my butt gets soupy. And then it starts chafing. And it's like 36 hours in, ass cheeks are uncomfortable to the point where it feels like I shit my cheeks and it's dried. But I don't have any anal leakage, if that's what you're asking. It's always relatively clean. But, dude, more than 24 hours, like, there's something in my ass cracks and it needs to be cleaned. And then I just hit the showers.
You know what?
I did shit my pants last night, though, accidentally.
Come on, you can't end it with that. I can't say that my downstairs smells the best, but also I'm not getting lucky. So like, fuck it, whatever. Like the only person that has to smell that is me. So like, and you don't have.
You can't suck your own dick.
Even if I could.
If you could, would you?
Nope. I don't need to.
The only reason I guess I wouldn't is because you got the tongue on top instead of the tongue on bottom, and those are like two completely different things.
I'm lazy, dude. I'll just like hit it a couple times and take a shower. Like I don't need to make it extravagant. That's a lot of work for a pleasure. I'm a robot person, dude. Emotionally and apparently, I'm like, the task is over. It's now time to like. If I didn't have
Smack
to
me
eat-
with a lamp.
yeah, I was like, do you like that? Yes. Okay, it's time to now download the process.
You're buying a sex robot for sure when they become like really
not.
good.
Dude, no, absolutely not. I think I had like a Japanese toy once and I used it for a week and I was like, fuck this is boring. And I just like like whatever. I don't need this extra step. I'm so lazy. I was just like, just do the thing, get it done, and fucking get out the door. Very efficient.
We have some questions that came from Twitter, and this is usually where I end the show. So we'll do these couple of Q&As and then we'll wrap it up a little bit.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna go from bottom to top because Camilla brought up a question that kind of feeds into another question that I have.
Okay.
So her question was, what's it like to have a weeb name and be a total poser about it? And then I'm gonna tack on my question, which is, why in God's name are your fans green? Out of all of like the poser shit in the world, having green computer fans that are static is like the PC Master Race poser color of them all.
Is it?
Yes. Like when customizing computers first got like big, green, like black and green was what everybody was doing. And when you turn on your camera today and I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, he has green LEDs. I'm sort of being facetious, but at the same time, I'm not.
I'll say right now, any motherfucker with a pink, purple, or red background can get fucked with that question. Yeah, I'm talking to you, my friend.
Hey, wait a minute.
Purple and blues is the new green. So congrats.
It is, yeah. The pink and aqua or the purple and pink, yeah.
Yep. I liked green because at one point it calmed me down. Red makes me angry. Purple's tacky. Not actually, I'm just fucking with you.
No, it's okay.
Everybody used purple and all. I'm not a big fan of purple in general. And I liked green. Actually, my favorite is orange. My favorite color is orange, but I read that green is like calming or whatever. And I had a lot of plants in my. You saw my old room. It was with the ivy wall in the back. Remember?
Yeah.
And it had the twinkly lights. So the
Yep.
green just kind of like. And I don't know how to change it. So
That's okay.
also,
No
this comes
one-
up. This comes up blue, but this is also green. It's just like faded for whatever.
Oh, look, it looks green.
Yeah.
No one will believe me, but I had the pink and blue LED setups before it was popular on TikTok. Like I went to high school with purple skinny jeans, with white skinny jeans. I've been colorful my entire fucking life. All of these posers with their aura leaves and their polygonal square panels that they put on their wall. Fuck! Stole my shit, man, and now everybody hates it.
Dude, you could go back. Like I've seen some of your old shit. You have proof. You have proof. You've been streaming for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So
No,
like
I don't
we know.
have to prove it to anybody.
You don't have to prove it to anybody. Yeah. As far as the anime thing goes, I did at one point. Like I've loved anime my whole life. I was the anime kid, as we mentioned earlier. I wasn't the emo kid. I was the anime kid. I wore the Naruto jacket in school. AnimeDatty was a joke name my ex came up with. I think hilarious. You know, here I am now. That's my moniker. And for a while, that was one of the avenues I wanted to go down. At the time, I was falling not out of love, but out of interest with anime as severely as I did. I did have an anime podcast, and Daddy's just funny. But that's, maybe I'll get back into anime. I don't know. The anime fandom is fucking rabid. So if I want to bank on any viewership, I could get into doing TikToks about anime. I could literally like I said, I want to make. Ideally, if I was business oriented, I could make the Daddy moniker have so many subsets. It could just be Daddy. I have Daddy merch, and then you have Anime Daddy, Gamer Daddy, Only Daddy for my OnlyFans. Like any of that shit. Like
that actually that works really well.
Yeah, I know. That's why I made it. Did I? You'll never know.
I'm gonna search.
Nah, it's fine. Maybe you might find something. Is he lying? We'll never know.
We're gonna find out. Shit, I was just about to ask something about.
So that's why anime is there, and I am a poser for now, but I might get back into it. So I did have an anime podcast when I first started. Obviously, it trailed off because I overwhelmed myself with shit, and the streaming shit popped off, and that's why I went with streaming. So I should be Streamer Daddy instead of Anime Daddy, but it is what it is.
We went to a food, beer, and craft festival probably a month or so ago, and
Yeah.
I've got my Teddy Fresh hoodie, which is like all baby pastel colors,
Yeah.
and then purple pants, purple shoes, right? And we were walking, and my girlfriend, I think, was walking behind me a little bit, and she said like this old, like 60-year-old, like husky biker looking dude was just walking, and then looked at me, and just went. And just like shook his head and grimaced and then kept walking. Dude, when I tell you that I was the only person wearing bright color, like I looked into the sea of people,
Yeah.
blacks, grays, blues, all subtle. And I'm like, I honestly, for the first time in a really long time, I feel like I'm standing out.
Yeah.
And I love it.
That's cool. Really, the only thing I ever did was I've always patched all of my jackets. Like every jacket I've ever owned, I've overdone with patches and like designs on it. That's as much as. And then in high school, like I said, I wore a bright orange Naruto jacket all of like 9th and 10th grade.
Oh
And then
my God. Okay.
Then I got cool with skinny jeans and I started wearing jean jackets and leather jackets and I got into my biker phase. But I was still a weeb. I'm a conundrum. I'm a conundrum of a person. I look like I listen to Joe Rogan, but I'm a weeb.
Oh, you're just gonna get stuck on that for now, aren't
Oh,
you?
I've always gotten that. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
not that I've used that joke. They're late to that joke because I've been using that joke on myself since Joe Rogan started podcasting.
Okay. So she wasn't far off.
I just want to see that tweet now because like anything, I want to know that it won't hurt me.
Fair. We were talking about earlier, you were hyper focusing on certain things, like you were looking at cameras, right? And you would just look at cameras and cameras and cameras.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find joggers. So TwitchCon 2019, I spent $450 on Twitch merch. Just
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
Twitch merch. All shit I still have to this day. The only thing I don't use anymore are the glasses. They're sunglasses.
Okay.
And it's all really fucking great merch. But they had joggers. They're black. They're like that nylon. And they've got the Twitch logo down the leg. And they're fucking dope. And they're one of my favorite pairs of pants. I'm like, you know what? I should just keep buying more pants of these. I was scrolling through Amazon for like a half an hour, just looking through different types of joggers, fleece ones, nylon ones, insulated ones. I had like a bunch of different bookmarked and I ordered a couple and I got done and I felt like I just ran a mental marathon. I'm like, I just looked at pants for like a half an hour, but I was just so, because like Amazon pictures look nothing like the clothing that you get in the mail. Like 9 times out of 10, they don't look the same. And so I bought a couple. We'll see how it goes. But I'm in jogger phase right now when it comes to pants, joggers and hoodies.
I never got into joggers and now I have jacket phases and hat phases. Like I will wear the fuck out of a hat and a jacket for a long time. I also have power phrases. Like I'll say something like one thing a lot. Usually is a meme of some sort. It's like
100%.
Like,
100%.
look at all these chickens, or like Judas. I'll have like a power phrase or just something I'm always. So yeah, I get that. I never got into the joggers. I don't want my ankles showing. I don't know why.
Oh no, I wear socks.
I thought joggers were basically male capris.
No, they're not. They're not any shorter than regular pants. They just have elastic
really?
cuffs at the end.
I always thought they were to like pull up. When I had a pair of joggers that my mother got for Christmas, and I would just pull them up as shorts. I was like, if I'm gonna do I don't know.
What the fuck? Why would you do that?
That's what I thought you were supposed to do.
No. I mean, they're meant to be cuffed at the angle so they don't interfere with like your shoes when you're running. Like
dude.
they're meant to be tight. They're not meant to be pulled up to your.
I tuck all of my shoes way the fuck in there till my feet can't breathe. That's what pants are for. You're supposed to get them in there, or you're just wearing shorts.
Somebody help this man. Somebody help this man with his pants.
I want my body. I don't want my body to look like a Kingdom Hearts character where I have these big ass boots and then my ankles are showing. What the fuck is? Why you got clown pants on? Tuck them in.
You know what? I say someone needs to help you, but I'll wear like black Air Force Ones with white socks and joggers. So I'm in no place to give out any sort of fashion advice.
None of us are. My buddy growing up, for 1 week, he accidentally and then ironically wore a white and a black sock. And now literally since that day, he's only ever worn one white sock and one black sock. Like that's his thing. And like nobody catches it anymore because like he wears jeans and everything. But to this day, he will always wear 2 different socks, white and black.
When we were talking about what you would wear if you were an emo back in high school, another thing was taking 2 different colors of laces and then lacing your shoes with them.
That's right. I remember that.
That's a big one too. Or coloring the tip of your Converse with a Sharpie marker, even though it looked fucking terrible.
Like I said, fashion is, I don't know. I wear what the fuck I wear. Hopefully it's not super tacky at the very least. I don't know.
Also, I wear Crocs. and curtain right there.
Well, okay, here's the deal. I think now more than ever, we're in an age where you can wear anything, and as long as you're confident wearing it or comfortable, comfortable, either or, you make it work.
Yep.
All fat people roller skate again. People wear 70s clothes, 80s hairstyles, the mullet. You wear in a certain, I think now more than ever is so much of fashion is blended. You might have your quick trends, like the split down the middle for women is now more trendy rather than the swoop. It's all relative. So there are certain things, but if you're wearing a certain outfit confidently, that's all you.
Next question from Gowumpy. What kind of noise would centipedes make if they all wore tiny flip-flops?
Are
you making any noise?
I had to turn my gain up.
Okay.
Did you hear my keyboard?
A little bit. I heard little tip taps.
It wasn't a lot.
Batters. Not really.
I'm an asshole with my keyboord. I got like silent cherry blacks or something.
Oh my god!
I know.
Why
I know.
even buy a mechanical keyboard?
Here,
Christ Almighty! It's barely coming through, like barely.
So my gain is all the way up. My gain is like as max as it gets. This is some quiet keys.
Do you have any sort of noise suppression or any audio filters in OBS for your mic?
I'm not on OBS or for my. Oh no, nothing. There's nothing. This is straight up just the Elgato whatever.
Just the phone. Okay.
It just doesn't come through. Huh, that's crazy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was like clack 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 clack. I was trying to do a thing, but it didn't work. I don't know. It'd be like a mechanical keyboard. That's the sound I would make.
Fair.
The joke got ruined. Thanks, keyboard. You're too quiet.
Final question from Greg. Ask him how he's doing. How is he holding up and enjoying life? You got to answer this honestly. And answer it as if he hadn't heard the first 2.5 hours of the podcast.
I'm going through it right now. I've had a lot of rough stuff happen in the past week, but I've been able to hang out with more really cool people. I'll make sure my gain is where it's supposed to be. I'm okay. I could be better than okay, but I'm okay. Luckily, I have amazing people that I've met through this. They get me through it every day. I'm good. No more, no less. Don't worry about me.
What's your next steps for content creation? Are you just going to keep writing out, playing games, get back into TikTok? Do you have any desire to get back into TikTok?
Yeah, I'm gonna start reposting all of the chats that I'm behind on. I think Sandwich is my next big one I have to go through. But I'm only gonna put my original TikTok that was AnimeDatty is now A Date with Daddy. That's the name of the podcast. If I go back to it, which I really am planning on getting back to it in some capacity, even if it's just with friends. That's my TikTok. I'm going to post there. I don't think I'm going to interact with anybody because that's just too time consuming. And then when I'm doing my one-offs, just playing a game, I want to do single player games. I need to get out of multiplayer bullshit. As much as I love doing it and I obsess over it, I think it's just a placeholder. But I definitely want to maybe have moments. I really want to play The Last of Us on stream. I want to
do it.
And that is one of my favorite games. And it is one of the true times for whatever reason. I want to see if I can. That game always makes me cry, and I know how much people want to see me cry. However fucked up that may sound, but like that game, like if you want to see me cry, and I allow myself to become vulnerable on stream for you, which is like a whole other thing, that might be fucked up in itself. I want to play single player games and experience that. Like I said, sitting in front of a TV with your friends. But yeah, it's content wise, it's going to be Gamer Daddy. My Instagram is everything between the interview chats, my funny one-offs, and just travel stuff when I go and visit people. I as much as Instagram is dying, I've been loving Instagram. And Twitter is my where I interact the most because it's just easy to be like bang, 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 bang. But I've been loving just making stories and interacting with stories. Wait, are you on Instagram?
I am. I probably went
Feel like I
6 to
don't
8
follow you.
months without really messing with it all. Instagram for me has always been the personal side of me, where I'm just taking
Yeah.
stories of day-to-day life. I wasn't using it as a content platform. Where as of lately, I've been taking TikToks and putting them as Instagram Reels just to see what's happening. Been trying to post more photos. Instagram's not the same platform it was for me as it was 3 years ago, and I don't know. It's hard for me to get behind Instagram right now.
I think because Instagram is so like people either see my shit or they don't. I've been treating it however. Instagram's been my playground. I would post photos that I've loved to take because, like I said, I want to get into photography. So I've like the S21 Ultra has a fucking amazing camera. So when I can use the pro settings, I'll post photos and then just daily stuff. And then my content is my life. Like as to like you said, like you get to personal stuff. Like when I post those conversations, that still feels I want to share that too. That feels like this is what I do. This is what I enjoy. So I've been loving Instagram. But I'll post everything there. But I have separate YouTube now. I have my Gamer Daddy is strictly for shorts that I use for games, and maybe I'm acting like an idiot. I have the original AnimeDatty channel, which is going to be I have what's called a Daily Daddy. I did a whole breakdown of one of Ludwig's videos where he talked about making YouTube videos. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
He did that. It was awesome, but I wanted to analyze it. So I did that. I have a Daily Daddy and then a Date with Daddy on my main YouTube page that I've been using. And then I have 4 TikToks, Travel Daddy, Clout Chasers that I was doing with John. I want to get back to that because I like being a fucking asshole with him. And then a Date with Daddy, and then I forget the other one. All of them. Any of them. So yeah.
The fact that you forgot the 4th one should be a sign.
Yeah, I'll probably get rid of it. Yeah. So I like content wise, I'm gonna keep posting stuff because at the end of the day, even if like I said, I start working 3 fucking jobs again, I'm gonna find a way to cram in doing the stuff I love and just posting. And then maybe someday down the road when I accumulate whatever. As far as stream goes, I think I want to get back to editing and just talking about streaming on stream or just chatting. I think I'm a just chatting streamer. And then when I want, after I've done my spiel, I'll go into like if I feel I was sad the other day and I really wanted to play The Last of Us, and then I got online and I think John called me and was like, "We're playing Halo," and I was like, "Fuck, okay."
Oh,
I played Halo.
Dude, I played Halo last night for probably about 5 hours. Going from Call of Duty Cold War to Halo is masochism. It is fucking torture, and I've never shot at such spongy beings in my entire fucking life.
Yeah, dude.
I cannot believe the amount of ammunition it takes, and also grenades don't do fucking shit unless you are literally inserting it into somebody's rectum. That grenade isn't doing fucking shit.
That's why I play SWAT.
I do love SWAT. We didn't play any SWAT last night. SWAT's my favorite game mode.
It's only custom right now, but that's why I play SWAT. It's just like for Call of Duty, I play hardcore. I want every shot to count. That's why I kind of put up with Apex, because Apex has shields and everything. It's like I need to know that when I shoot something, it's gonna die.
Yeah, and to see to unload an assault rifle into somebody, and for them to turn around, have 5 seconds of shooting me back after I've already been shooting for 5 seconds, and them to kill me is the most frustrating gaming experience. I was getting legitimately angry yesterday.
Yeah. Halo's been fun outside of that, but I've only played it about 3 times, and I think I've hit my limit with multiplayer games because I was trying to get platinum or whatever in Apex, and I let it consume me. And I have a tendency. Overwatch was my first ranked experience. Halo 2 was my first time, like really, as with a lot of people. But I found Overwatch ranked, and I wanted to be a pro. Like night and day is all I would do is play Overwatch, and I wanted to be very good at it. And it's just I'm not that guy. I won't be good at those games, and
You're not that guy, pal.
I'm not that guy, pal. So I need to get away from the multiplayer as much as I enjoy to a relative standpoint.
Still sprinkle it in there every once in a while. It's good to have gaming days with the homies.
I'll do it in Discord. I'll play with the homies in Discord, but that's no longer for stream. I don't think that's what my audience wants from me, which is fine. Like, obviously, I'm gonna do what I want to a certain extent, but also if I'm streaming, I want to make sure that, in my opinion, if I'm on stream, I want to make sure that everybody is a little copacetic to some extent. You know.
Gotcha. We got one more question. We'll just take care of this final one, and then we'll close this off. From Tony Stark, can you still be a successful streamer without being an affiliate or a partner on Twitch?
I would say yes.
I don't understand the logic behind leaving the affiliateship on Twitch, because I don't think so. Okay, what are the pros of not being an affiliate?
It's all technical shit, kind of. No ads, very much. If you want to talk about, I had this opinion way back, and maybe I still have it. If you are just streaming because you're passionate about it, and you're not trying to make it big, why are you don't want to make money? Because people would be like, I don't do it for this or that. It's like, why'd you sign the agreement? Why did you? It feels good to accomplish that. Don't get me wrong, but truly, in theory, if I was doing this, and I did it before, like before it really popped off, I was like, I don't need affiliate. I don't need to be a brand with anyone. I was multi-streaming to YouTube and Facebook as well. So I was just like, fuck it, like whatever. Outside of that, I'll make it work. And I'm just doing this because I have my real job. And literally when I said that, I got fired the next day. It's hilarious. Yeah, like don't be affiliated, but it has its perks. It's just, don't expect, Cosplay and I were talking about this the other night, to really make this your career, you have to be fucking killing it, dude. Like tens of thousands of subs and regular viewership. But to like get rid of it there's so many different factors. I don't think you need it. I think you can run a stream. There's a couple people who don't multi-stream, but they're not affiliated. What's that girl? Oh god, I can't remember her name. I think she's Australian. She works for Santa Monica Studios now. She's working on the new God of War. Charlamazard or God.
From Funhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She streams
Weenie's gonna come with it if Weenie's listening. Weenie, the blonde Australian from Funhouse.
God, I can't remember her name. Charlamazard is what she goes by on, like, I think it's close to that on socials. But I
was just playing Call of Duty. She might not respond. She's saying it out loud, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She's built a big enough stream where she has presence in this space, but she doesn't need to be affiliated with Twitch. And she averages, like, I think somewhere from 200 sometimes when she streams. Alana Pierce. Thank you.
But she built up hundreds of thousands of followers by being affiliated with a gaming YouTube channel. Like, she wasn't a new streamer on the scene.
Yeah, but in theory, if you build up a crowd and you're still streaming, granted, you might be sitting on money because you won't get subs, but if you know how to convert, or you get that whatever somewhere else, you can get them on a Patreon, or you can get them to your YouTube videos, or blah, blah, blah. The whole idea of success, that's another 20-hour topic of,
yeah, and I hate that conversation.
it's such a dead end conversation. You want to talk about having a dead end conversation. I don't think you need affiliate. I think the stuff that comes with it is worth taking. This is going to sound controversial. It's worth taking the 50% cut because it implements you into the culture of Twitch. And if you're willing to deal with the bullshit that comes with affiliate, then fucking do it. But I don't think you need it. I will stand by, I don't think you need it. If you want to be a streamer, you might get kickback like, why aren't you affiliated? Oh, you're streaming to 100 people. You're sitting on money. Well, fuck it, whatever. Go support me other places.
None of the reasons that I've heard from people that have been about, not being an affiliate have never made complete sense to me. Like one of the biggest ones is, well, you get to multi-stream. It's like, okay, I'm already losing what hair I have left just trying to stream twice on one channel.
Yeah.
And separating your attention to 2 different platforms is really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
It's even more difficult if you're trying to create two different types of content for two different types of platforms.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I am not trying to grow a stream in 2021. I grew a stream in 2013 and 2014, right? I grew in a different time. So maybe now, here in this year, you have to multi-stream just to get traction. I would argue focus on one streaming platform and use the other platforms where you have a little bit more give in order to get eyes to where you are. I personally, if you can't get traction streaming to one platform, why put in more effort to stream to more than one at the same time? It just feels like wasted energy to me.
I multi-streamed for 4 months and everyone was just on Twitch. So Twitch is my platform.
Yeah. So do you need it? No, you don't, because there's always going to be somebody that did it without it. You're like, see, you don't need it. But I'm trying to think of an analogy, right? Like, can you start a car by ripping open the ignition and touching two wires together? Yeah. Could you also just put a key in it and crank? Yeah. Like, there's multiple ways to get to the same end result. It doesn't make sense to me to not sign the affiliate agreement. Yes. Can you get emotes through third-party platforms? Yes. Can you multi-stream? Sure. Do any of those things really matter in the long run? I don't think so. I think that the thing that makes Twitch is the premise of building a culture. Emotes do that. Goals do that. Incentivizing does that. Call to actions. Like, those are all of the things that make Twitch channels grow. You even see it. Streamers that have hundreds of thousands of followers and thousands of subs running ads all the time, saying, hey, follow the channel all the time. Oh, hey, we're about to hit our sub goal all the fucking time. The culture of live streaming is just the constant reminder of more.
Yeah.
I can't stand that culture, and I've kind of gotten away from that whole thing, but that's sort of kind of what it takes.
Yeah, so that's why everybody at this moment, if you're not using your Prime in this channel, I'd remind you that you have a free sub every single month that you could use to support this channel. Twitch.tv/knackers. You know,
I thought you were about to throw your own channel in there.
Normally I would. Actually, when you guys are done watching this podcast, you should really check out twitch.tv/AnimeDatty. It's really the only one-stop shop for all the bullshit you want to hear. Yeah, that's part of that overwhelming nonsense of a huge thing that I learned after I kind of pulled back was that creating in general, and I saw this at the convention, which I never realized when I was an artist. I also did art too. I went to art school for 3 months. I drew growing up constantly. Go figure, a weeb who drew. But sometimes
oh my god, Prime
What?
sub, let's fucking go.
See, that's how you got to do it, and it's that camaraderie. Like when John and I go into a stream, we went into Isaac's subathon and we started screaming at him, and people just started like, and it's part of the culture, you know. We're just like, fuck, if you're not subbed up, what the fuck are you doing? And then John and then everybody's just like, fuck yeah, you get the hype train, the scam train, as some people call it, but fuck it, whatever. That's part of it.
Yep.
We all eat that shit up. Give us more emotes. We just want more. But the big thing, yeah, just give me more of the emotes. The big thing with creatives that they don't like to do unless they're naturally inclined or they take time to do it is you have to know how to market and sell yourself. And that's the worst fucking aspect of this job is it's still, that's how you make a career out. Van Gogh would not have been Van Gogh maybe if his girlfriend or whoever the fuck it was didn't push his art. Like there's tons of examples of artists not being known until you create literally art in general. This is an art form, in my opinion, entertainment. You have to know how to get your word out, your exposure. You have to learn how to market yourself. And that's hard. My friend was like, I want to get into like making art, like open an Etsy shop and blah, blah, blah. I need this new tablet. I need this equipment to do it. I was like, fuck all you do. I know plenty of people that don't have webcams or anything. And all they've learned how to do is interact with people, network in a good way, and fucking sell themselves and market their content. And that's the biggest thing. I know a guy who sells basically stick figures for thousands of dollars on canvas, and he makes a living because he's just a likable dude and he sells
the
his shit.
NFTs.
They're not NFTs. It's actual like art. It's like squiggly art that he just fucking sells in shops. He knows people that has stores. If they put his art up, people are like, what the fuck is that? That's for sale, is what it is. You gotta have that art. It's from this dude who lives here and has a story. It's about building stories and all that sales stuff. And I kind of like that aspect because I've done sales before, but it never before I started creating and selling did I kind of make that connection.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking use your primes, you idiots. After all that, that's my blatant, like, I don't want to sell, so I'll just remind you with a call to action.
Did you know?
No, it's a good conversation to have because there was this blew up on TikTok. People talking about, should I be an affiliate? Should I not be an affiliate?
That always does.
And I think what you as a streamer need to ask yourself is like, what culture do you want to be a part of? Do you want to be a part of like YouTube culture? Or do you want to be a part of Twitch culture? So I'm of the mindset of just being an affiliate if you really want to do it. But there's plenty of reasons to not do it. There's plenty of logical reasons, but none of them make sense to me.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe that's why I'm the most plateaued streamer on this fucking platform. You'll never fucking know because I'm always plateaued. That's just how it goes.
I think I like I wish I could help streamers more in that way. Cause like when I talked to McQueen, I was like, you need to be running ads. He's like, no, that's disgusting. I was like, okay. Well, when your viewership like changes or you let your everybody knows in my channel, you assumingly know, I say I'm gonna run an ad because what that means is for 20 minutes people don't get ads and people fucking hate ads. Every thing I own that I watch something on, I pay extra so I don't have to see ads. So if all I ask from someone who's watching is 60 seconds of their time, even if they leave and come back, you're not gonna get hit with an ad. So it's like I told him to do that. I was like, that's just a small thing you could do on top of multiple other suggestions. He would have to change some of his content to push his viewership because he's like, I would love to get to 1,000. I was like, all right, these are the things. That's where like the agent or like the manager side comes out in me, where I think like, oh, you could try this with like mods for Isaac and getting chat interaction. And it's like, that's not his stream. He goes live, he chills. I listen to him every night. That would change it. There's a way to do it, I think, but the creator, he has to want to do it as well. So that's where my mind goes like fucking wild, where I feel like I can see stuff for you right now, but you're not paying me. It's an unsolicited opinion. It's all shit like that.
Bitch,
I didn't make it work.
You're AnimeDatty. Tell me whatever the fuck you're thinking. It doesn't have to be right now, but
No.
I'm not above any criticism or ideas.
No, it's right now. I would have to like, I haven't thought of anything that I could suggest you other than just keep doing what you're fucking doing. And then like, I don't know, run ads. But besides that, like, I love your shtick. I love what you do. The only other bullshit is, yeah, I don't know. It would have to be your full-time thing, which you can't. You have a fucking job, you know?
And
that's the duality of it with streaming is the whole stream less, but also a lot of streamers have to stream a certain amount and be consistent as fuck. As that clip, I don't know if I even posted it with Skessian. She was just like, there comes a point maybe in your streaming career where you're too big to fail to a certain extent, where you can
absolutely
it just takes a while. But anyway, but I like doing that. Like I said, I'm a problem solver, I think. So I looked at McQueen and I was just like, just start running ads, ask your crowd. And then if you want to talk outside of just making money off ads, because you don't make fuck all from ads, it's when I started running ads and letting my crowd know, my viewership changed. I don't want to say grew or whatever. It felt like it changed, and I appreciated what it did when I was running those ads, because ads are a huge part of this platform. Unfortunately, you kind of have to work with it. So
my goal right now is to grow a stream with leaving money at the door. Like my goal right now is to make the money that I'm making with Twitch on other platforms so that I can experience creative freedom and just doing whatever the fuck I want here. Because the unfortunate reality is if I were to continue to grow with only streaming 2 times a week for 3 hours a piece, I couldn't apply for partner because you have to have a minimum of 12 hours a week, I believe.
It's bullshit.
3 streams a week or 12 hours, one of the two.
You have to be committed to the platform.
Yep. Which kind of sucks. But that's I'm willing to sort of walk away from Twitch in that aspect to where I just want to be able to create shit for other platforms too, because like being live streaming is fucking amazing. I love doing it. I've been doing it forever, but I also kind of want to experience creating content for other platforms. I never thought I would be a TikToker. But now, like all day, every day, I'm thinking about what to create for that platform. And that's kind of how it used to be for Twitch. But I guess your focus kind of bounces around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Instagram to go back to being photos only because I've been really liking high quality, like John and Stinker. I don't know if you know, Stinker was one of the other person I hung out with, are photographers, and they really, like I said, to appreciate high quality photography is like finding those moments of just because I'm so always finding those moments of stillness and then capturing it in just such a way and then like tweaking it I've been enjoying, like I said, I've been enjoying Instagram when I can find a moment to just like take a picture and post it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been going live because I enjoy it, but it's not. I think right now taking a step back. I think I mentioned this the other day. Being able to take a step back and finding a moment, whether it be live or in a piece of content or recorded, and just like that, even outside of a picture, a clip. I've been loving my clips recently. I don't know if I've been posting a fuck ton of more than I did in the past of me just like hanging out on stream and being like, well, poop comes out green sometimes. And I'll be like,
yep.
And I'll laugh for hours at myself. And I'm like, I'm posting it, hey, and that's the best. And I've been really enjoying those small little tiny moments of me in between the chaos of going off on whatever bullshit and just being like, I ate a bag of chips today. I don't know. Just like something random that just makes me laugh, and I'll post it. I'm like, I thought it was funny. I don't give a fuck if anybody else does.
That's the shit that I love. One of the TikToks recently of the my notification interrupting me saying I'm gonna eat your ass.
Yeah, like that shit. Yeah.
That is my like perfect TikTok content. Like that is the shit that I love seeing, and that's the shit that I also like putting out.
Yeah.
And I struggle like wanting to be like a technical professional on TikTok, but also like I talk about buttholes and when my cheeks get poopy. Like I can't stop either. I got to do both of them.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm talking to people, like I probably seem like such a TikTok shill, but after creating content on Twitch for 7 years, and then to have this platform come out that changed the game on so many different fronts, like I want everybody to experience what I'm experiencing. Yeah. And it's so great on so many fronts, and I've found different parts of myself that I didn't know existed. I'm creating content that I didn't know I wanted to create just from getting out there and experimenting with other platforms. And that's what I want other people to see. Like there is like, you can be a streamer who plays video games, but also create content that isn't video game content. It can still be relevant to you, your personality, and your show without being centered around games. And the tools that TikTok is providing, it just makes it so dumb not to do it. And that's why I always get like fucking rabid about TikTok when I'm talking to people about it, because it's like, please, like I just discovered acid and I want everyone to do acid with me because it's great. I've never done acid, but shrooms are fucking dope.
I've only ever drank. I got high on Mucinex DMX or whatever the fuck by accident one time.
You robo-tripped, homie.
I've robo-tripped on accident several times. That sounds like not 3 times, but yeah.
I've robo-tripped on purpose. That's swallowing anywhere from 35 to 40 Robitussin at one time. And then you go into space for 12 hours. That's when I was like early 20s and very experimental. But yeah, robo-tripping is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. It can make one room feel like a universe.
Yeah, me and my buddies, I was sick and we were at the beach, and my buddy gave me like, I don't know. We were on a motorcycle trip, and I was like, I didn't feel good, and I was all mucusy because it got a little bit chillier than I thought. And my buddy was like, here, take a couple of these Mucinex. And I say Mucinex because it's mucus, and I know it's Mucinex, but go fuck yourself. Because it's mucus. Anyway, he gave me 3 because he's like, I usually take 3 because he's fucking huge dude. And I was like, hey man, I take like half of a one. At the time I was like 90 pounds wet. I was like, fuck it. And then I took a bunch, and then they all took some, and I was like, you guys aren't sick. And they're like, don't worry about it. And then we got
red
on
flag.
I I was an idiot.
Sorry, go ahead.
We got on our motorcycles and we were crossing this bridge, and I felt like I was crossing the bridge for a day. It was just like a universe. I was just like, oh, I was on a motorcycle, dangerous, but like, hey man, it happened. I wasn't expecting to get fucking blasted. And then the next time I was with the same friend, it was just regular like cough syrup or whatever, but he gave me a fuck ton, and I was like, whatever. I was sick as shit, and I woke up and I saw the face of God on TV, and I thought I was like being transported, and then I got naked and like ran around the house or some bullshit. I don't know. It was
Did
wild.
you smack your dick between your thighs?
Yeah, it was wild. And that's the only time I've ever gotten high. I've gotten drunk plenty, but I've never done any other drugs because I'm a fucking square.
You're not missing anything. Like, drugs are cool, but if anybody goes their entire life without doing it, it's like you probably did a great thing.
I'm sure there are some experiences that might be fun to add to it, but I feel like I'm always enough of whatever. I don't need to add extra shit to it. So
that's how I feel most of the time.
Anyway,
but hey, 3-hour mark. I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it right there. I know we could go for another 2 hours.
I know.
But I know that you have
nothing to do because I'm unemployed. So yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it out loud, but you just went ahead and said it.
I will say this. I'm going to go shower. I've been sitting on this yoga ball and I've been sweating my core off. So
you're really on a yoga ball? Yoga ball? Oh my God, you really are. That's why you're so bouncy.
Yeah, no, like I sit on a yoga ball. Ever since I started sitting on this, my back doesn't hurt at all anymore. I swear by the yoga ball. And then I also use the Joy-Con instead of a keyboard. Like I'm a conundrum of a person.
Is it high enough for you to sit at a desk? I feel like yoga balls, by the time you sit and you get squished, you aren't at your right height. Or is it just that big, or is your ass that huge?
I don't know. It's that big. It's not a small yoga ball, but like
that. Yeah, that looks like a normal size yoga ball.
I don't know. As my desk might be low. It's not a very big desk because look, this is the desk. It's an L-shaped desk.
When you have your arms up, do your elbows dip below your countertop or your tabletop?
When I have my arms up?
Well, if you have your arms up at the keyboard, if you relax, are your elbows dipping below the tabletop?
No, it's literally like in line.
I'm
5'8". I don't know. Like I'm literally sitting perpendicular. Like my legs are at a perfect, like 90-degree angle. Like I'm just like this. But what ends up happening when I haven't sat on this all weekend. I get the swampy butt because I'm moving.
Yeah.
So now I definitely have to go take a shower.
Dude, wash your shit cheeks. All right, Senior Daddy, do some self reflection.
Promo?
Yeah, do some self promo.
Reflection. I did that the whole podcast, my friend. Check me out. My name's AnimeDatty. AnimeDatty.com. Twitch.tv/AnimeDatty. I also have several other. I made a link tree finally. I don't know where it is. I posted it somewhere, but yeah, I go live whenever the fuck I go live. Mostly it's been Monday through Friday. I was trying to do early streams. But follow me on Twitter, especially. That's where I post the most.
You're super close to 1,000 followers on Twitter, by the way.
I know. And if I get to 1,000 followers on Twitter, I will be donating $100 to whatever charity Unstable Pisces chooses, because that was a competition I did way back. That I don't think he's even aware that is still happening, but I am trying to get to 1,000. Only follow if you like it. I'm not trying to actually farm views. It's for fun, and I interact a lot with Twitter. But yeah, I'm still gonna be doing the thing. I might do a podcast. Knackers might be on my podcast, and then I get to deep dive into Knacker's brain and see what makes him tick. That'll be wild.
Nothing but plateaus, my friend.
Nothing but plateaus. We'll just scroll through your TikTok feed and we'll analyze each video. I'll just be like, all right, which one's the one with the lollipop in the belly button? That's my favorite. That's
your favorite, the one of me farting in my car. You okay? You just pop a groin?
I rammed my knee into my desk. I finally hurt myself on the yoga ball. Wait, yeah, which one was that? Because I remember
I get in my car and I fart and I just go. That's all I do.
I feel like I remember I laughed for 40 minutes one
But
time. Yeah.
that one fucking makes me laugh too, because those are sometimes like my genuine reactions. Just emphasize, like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I just shit my pants in my own vehicle. Like I don't even own this thing. I just shit my pants. What the hell's going on?
Shit. But yeah, I do the thing. I stream and I post videos sometimes. I just hang out. You'll see me being an asshole on the internet, as it were. I'm sorry. I'm not an asshole on the internet. I'm just outspoken on the internet. I got to start talking to myself better.
There you go.
Anyway,
We're gonna work on that elevator pitch. All right.
yeah, I'm not an elevator. I'm a lazy river.
I'm an escalator.
I'm a tube on a lazy river. So, be like
All right,
that.
everybody. I will be live for Tech Talk Tuesday on Tuesday, and then actually Thanksgiving is actually coming up. Which, are you okay?
I sit on a Sibian at my PC. If you don't know what a Sibian is, don't Google it. Go on. Sorry. Thanksgiving.
Tech Talk Tuesday on Tuesday. Thanksgiving is this week, but we do have another Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast with Middle Age Stream and Bishop GP on Sunday, and then we're just gonna keep doing the goddamn thing. I got a new YouTube video coming out tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'm gonna be on TikTok every fucking day of my life until I get burnt out. I'm riding the current wave until I get fucking sick of it, and then I take like a week off. But
Yeah.
I've just been recording and planning and scheduling and recording, and I can't stop. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you hit those little strides where almost every TikTok gets like a comment, and then you interact with those comments, and then it just keeps going and going and going and going.
I used to, not anymore, but yeah, I do it. Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
I'm in one of those right now. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning into the podcast. 3 hours. We don't give a fuck. Make sure you follow AnimeDatty. I threw his links to his Twitter and his chat in the chat. And I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm gonna go find that tweet about me from Logo.
Don't do it. Fuck.
It's too late.
No.